What's up, guys? Welcome back to another show of Inside the Crazy Ant Farm. On tonight's show, we'll be discussing a little business and the industry news. Of course, we'll be discussing streaming services and just a whole bunch of fun stuff. And, of course, word of the day and box office predictions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So how's everybody doing?
Yeah, awesome.
Oh, good.
I mean, we're in air conditioning right now.
It's so hot in South Mississippi.
Oh, my gosh,
It's
man.
really, isn't it even at like 8 o'clock at night? It's still like 90 degrees.
Or, yeah,
outside.
like when...
It's
like
80. It was completely 80 the other day.
3:30 this morning, I walk out. It's already 84 degrees with a feels like of 97.
Yeah, exactly.
And the sun is nowhere to be found. It's already a feels
pitch
like
black.
97. It's like, what is going on? It's insane. So we're doing good. We're in air
I don't
conditioning.
think, do any of us have AC in our cars?
No,
none of us.
All
Yeah,
of
we're
us
all
have
without
lost
it.
AC in the car. So we
Damn.
are dying.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
100%.
Barely making
yeah,
it here.
You can't judge us for the way we look because we're
Yeah.
probably going to be like, I don't just.
Oh yeah, I didn't even put
dripping
my
and
hair
dripping.
down. It's
Yeah.
all still
Oh
in
my
the,
gosh,
the
it's awful.
ponytail.
It's so
Well, before
hot.
we jump into the industry news, though, I just really quick want to say a thank you to all of our listeners because you know we've been seeing so much interaction and so much response from you guys, and the numbers are looking really good, and we're getting a lot of feedback. We ran a poll recently. I'll talk about that in a minute. And we're seeing a lot of interaction with guests that we've had from different things. And so I just really want to say thank you because the show's been a real success for us, and we enjoy doing it every week.
Yeah.
And we're having a good time, and we're just always working week in and week out to try to make it even bigger and better for you guys. And we're taking, we want to hear from you guys even more. So we ran a poll, by the way, guys.
We did.
Because, as you guys know, if you listen to our shows.
I thought y'all just going to a strip club and
Yeah,
just
no,
wanted to drop some bills.
But we love Oprah, so and we were like Oprah, and so I was like, you know what, let's just put this out there, and so we ran a poll, and we asked all of our listeners out there to tell us who they would like to see us try to book as a guest on the show. I mean, we've had Academy Award winners, Emmy winners, like all kinds of amazing superstar guests, actors and actresses. So we're like, let's keep building on that. And so we gave them a few choices: Hugh Jackman, Gal Gadot, Oprah, and Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
I would be totally can't even think of the word. I would be so happy if any of them came
Any
on.
of
Yeah,
them.
any of them,
I'd be
right?
so happy.
I could run sound for that show. I don't know if I could even say anything for Robert Downey Jr. or
crazy.
Yeah, you guys were amazing, and we have an answer. It started off quick with Oprah.
Yeah.
It was like jumped out there, Oprah.
That was me.
And then it started to balance off a little bit, and then a particular one like really started to pull away. And then it balanced back out where it was real tight between three of them, then real tight between two of them. But now we do have a definitive with more than 40%. And it's Wonder Woman herself, Gal Gadot. So that's who our listeners would like.
How many counts did you make Dustin to vote that up? How
No,
many
I
times
didn't.
did you
I did not.
recreate an
I
account?
promise you I
Dustin
did
1,
not.
Dustin
First
18.
of all, I'm just going to say it. I love Gal Gadot and Patty Jenkins, and I loved Wonder Woman. I think they're all brilliant. But I voted for my man Hugh because I'm a lifelong Wolverine fan and Logan fan. I voted for Hugh.
Yep.
He was second. He came real close, 30-something%. But it's Gal Gadot.
Yeah.
So we are listening. Now, like I answered on all of our social media, she's a little busy right now.
Just a little.
A little busy
Like-
filming that little tiny film she's doing,
Yeah.
little Wonder Woman film she's doing, the sequel, Wonder Woman 80. But we are going to reach out to her publicist. We are going to see what we can do, and we're going to try our best to land Gail for all of you guys, since that's...
It just might take a little time, and y'all might have to
it
hype
might
us
have
up
to be
a
after
lot
shooting
more.
is done or after reshoots are done or whatever, because she's a busy lady and she's in demand, but we're going to go for it.
Yep.
You guys want it, we're going to go for it,
Well,
and we're
then
going to do...
Prepare to plan my funeral afterward because
Yeah,
I will
'cause-
absolutely die.
And what I
will
really hope, because we did that whole little series on female filmmakers and everything, I would love to have Gail and Patty come on.
Oh my goodness.
And
I would double
and
die.
that would be
Double
amazing, and just have them talk about the surge in female filmmakers and
so
what's going
crazy.
on and the amazing response that Wonder Woman, the first Wonder Woman had, and all this kind of. I think it would be amazing. So
Hell yeah.
we're gonna try, we're gonna do it, and we'll try for the other ones too. Just because they
course.
didn't win the poll, we're going to still go after the other ones too.
Yeah.
And we got a bunch of good stuff coming for you
I'll
guys.
die if any
so-
of them come on.
And
No
you
matter
guys
what, I'm
can
dying.
help. Yeah, you guys can help. Interact, reach out to them, tweet them,
Exactly.
Instagram them, say, we want you on the show, we want you on the show, and help us out. And we'll obviously, help you guys and retweet all your stuff, and we'll
Definitely.
just start building this massive campaign, and
Yeah.
we'll make it happen.
Yeah.
They save shows, they do all kinds of things. We'll make it
Exactly.
happen and get them on the show.
Power
So.
of the crowd.
Power of the crowd. That's
Exactly.
it. So anyway, I just wanted to say that.
Yes.
All right.
yes.
So
we want to start off with the business.
yeah,
business?
the biggie.
The business.
Business.
The biggie. The biggie. Did you guys see today? I think the final nail in the coffin for Comcast.
Yes.
The DOJ,
The
the
gnat that won't go
Department
away.
of Justice, approved the Disney 21st Century Fox merger.
Exactly.
The regulations with one stipulation, which Disney didn't give a hoot about because they didn't want it anyway. They approved all of the assets being transferred or acquired by Disney except for Fox regional sports channels.
Yep.
And because they were a little worried about a monopolistic turn with ESPN and the sports avenues that Disney already had. So they said that they would approve the merger on the condition that they sell those off. And Bob Iger had already stated weeks ago he didn't want them anyway.
He's like, "That's fine.
So I think
Go
that's
ahead."
not going to be an
Yeah.
issue. And so I think that's the final nail in the coffin for
Yeah.
Comcast. I mean, the DOJ easily approved it, which Iger said they would.
Yeah.
We all know that the DOJ is not easily going to approve Comcast
Yeah.
because they're a broadband provider and they're worried about certain regulatory problems. And they've hinted at that they think that it would be a problem getting through. So
Yeah.
there it is. I mean, Disney said they could easily get the pass, and they did.
Yeah.
And apparently, according to an insider,
An
who saw
insider?
a filing with the SEC from 21st Century Fox, basically this filing hints to the fact that they really aren't interested in anything Comcast has to
Damn.
come back with.
Anything?
So I really feel like the shareholders are all on board, and I don't think any of the 21st Century Fox shareholders want to sit around for the next 6 months or 8 months and go through what all of the shareholders of AT&T and Time Warner did on the big old long trial to
Right.
see if they will or won't, when they
Exactly.
know right now Disney already got approved. They could do
Yeah.
it right now and get paid and get their money
Exactly.
and be on the way.
Or
So-
get their stock and stay rich forever.
and watch what Iger does with
Cha-ching.
the Marvel superheroes that come home.
Yeah,
That's all I'm
exactly.
saying. I
Oh, my
mean,
goodness.
think about that alone.
Yeah.
So
Freaks
Well, it
out
does
everything.
raise like thousands of questions, though, of what's going to happen with Fox stations and ABC stations that are in the same markets. And
well, I think they keep them because I think they're going to do with Fox brands what they did with Marvel and Star Wars.
keep
and all.
them
They're going to
separate.
keep them separate while they'll be the parent company. They're going to, operate completely autonomous, just like Marvel does, just like, all. So I think that's what they're going to do with those. I
Yeah.
mean, except there is one that's in question, and you do bring up like questions that are going to happen. Hulu.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Hulu's
Yeah.
been making
What's gonna
moves the past couple days to acquire content left and right,
Freaking-
yanking it from Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They-
what did they get? Like
I don't even remember.
Viacom. They took a
yeah.
lot of Viacom's MTV stuff. Daria and Beavis and Butthead.
Oh, I saw
and-
that on there. My friend was like, "Oh, look, Daria's on there,"
Yeah,
and they're
exactly.
aren't they doing new episodes of Daria
Yes,
too?
yes. And so, which is interesting because, that still leaves, we still got Viacom and CBS out there. And so the
Exactly.
fact that Hulu's making all these deals for Viacom content and properties, and I think the past couple days, Hulu's been making all these moves because they're anticipating that pass
Yeah.
from the DOJ and that they're maybe on the order of Bob. I don't want to say so because we don't know, but they're acquiring content for Disney's streaming
Yeah,
service when
basically.
Hulu becomes Disney.
Yeah.
So
They're just getting ready.
It's a lot
Yeah.
of
Getting ready for
speculation.
it.
I mean, it's good
It-
speculation.
it's-
You
yeah,
have really
it just
good
it makes
reasons.
sense, doesn't it? I mean, why?
We like our
Because
predictions.
if the merger does go through, if 21st Century Fox and Disney sign off on it now that the DOJ has approved it, and it does all go through, Disney becomes the major owner of Hulu.
Yeah.
And I mean, how do you turn away all those subscribers
Yeah.
that already exist to say we're going to do our own streaming service
Fastest growing subscribers.
yeah,
right?
fastest growing and built in millions
Exactly.
of
They're already
subscribers.
there.
I just feel like Hulu's going to be the Disney streaming service. I just that's
Shit would be
my guess.
crazy.
I mean,
Oh my god.
So do you
Yeah,
think Comcast is going to make any other moves for something else?
They've been
apparently
quiet,
Comcast
man.
has been really, really quiet, and
Yeah.
a lot of speculation is that they're reaching out to a ton of investors to try to raise more cash. But I think Murdoch and the shareholders aren't interested in the cash that they're going to come with. And also, one thing that they're going to have a really hard time floating by shareholders, I would think, even Comcast shareholders, is that if indeed they were to get it, they would become the most indebted company in history. They would be over nearly, by the time they add the debt of their own debt to acquire it, and then also bring in Fox's debt, they would be almost at $100 billion in debt.
That's crazy.
To be able to acquire it.
That'd be too much blood in the water.
Is it,
for another company to come in and
worth
sweep
what
in
the
and
hell?
buy
Yeah, I
them
mean,
out
you're going to
and force
start
debt
the
on
new
them.
company with $100 billion of debt.
Yeah.
Because then what happens? We all know what happens with that much debt. You're not going to survive, and then it'll be sold off in a fire sale, and
Exactly.
Disney will get
And
it
then
anyway.
yeah,
so,
they'll
I mean,
just buy it off
it's
anyway.
just, why go through all the hassle?
That
I
shit is
mean,
crazy.
I think it's a done deal for
Yeah.
Disney. I'm just saying.
They're like a swimmer in the ocean, just swimming along with a dead limb. Then here comes a shark named
Yeah.
Disney.
Yeah.
I think if
Gonna
Comcast
get
wanted
you.
to stick it
Gonna
with
get
them,
you.
they should go ahead and go to Netflix.
Yeah.
I mean,
And start trying to make a lot more deals with Netflix and start trying to build an empire
I mean, they're the future.
on the
bro.
other side to make it a war against two huge juggernauts.
well, yeah, Comcast is. They make no mistake. They might have to back off a 21st Century Fox, but they're going to go after somebody.
Yeah.
they
That's
want
what I'm
somebody.
wondering. Who are they
Yeah,
gonna go after next?
Yeah, I mean
Exactly.
the MGM maybe. MGM's vulnerable.
Yeah.
They've been vulnerable for years.
Yeah,
though.
I
They've
mean
been
that's a
kinda-
possibility. I don't know. Maybe if they do decide to sell Viacom and CBS separate, maybe they go after Viacom because it has all of the Universal properties and Universal films, and so maybe they go after that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It'll definitely be. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out.
Oh man, it's crazy.
You're-
But sticking with Disney and ABC, we want to talk about the Connors, the Roseanne spinoff coming back. So
Yeah,
successful or no?
Don't say her name.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
no,
Yeah,
can't say it.
The she who shall not be named.
Oh,
is
my.
her.
Yeah.
I knew a Harry
Yeah.
Potter reference was going to come out.
Yeah, that's
somehow.
right.
Oh my goodness.
So, what successful or not? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh,
I don't know.
I don't know if they've burned too many bridges and hurt too many people's feelings.
Yeah.
And even though it's not the people who are going to be involved in it's fault, and maybe that'll be enough to bring some people back to
Yeah.
be like, well, let's support all the other people who didn't say all that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if people are stubborn once
If
they don't
John
like
know,
Goodman's
something.
in it, hold on. If John Goodman's in it, I think he can bring a lot of people in.
think so.
He
Yeah,
is.
I
He
just-
is involved.
He has that star power
Yeah.
to pull.
He is involved.
Yeah. I don't know. People are stubborn. Once they don't like something, they're like, that's it forever. I'll never ever look at
Yeah.
it again.
Especially in this age where everything's kind of very sensitive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So,
It'd be interesting.
I think it'll come out of the gate well
Yeah.
because people are going to feel like we got to support the rest of the cast and crew that
Right.
Oh, pity watches or
yeah,
sorry, pity views?
wasn't Roseanne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then it's going to fade.
Yeah.
Much like Roseanne did.
Yeah.
I mean, it came out of the gates roaring and each week lost millions of viewers.
Yeah.
I think, unfortunately, for the spinoff, it's going to do the same thing.
You think so?
So, yeah, I think so.
Damn it, Roseanne.
Damn it, Roseanne.
yeah.
I mean,
Exactly.
they were already confirming a second season
Yeah.
right out of the gate,
Which
so we
is-
could do it again.
Yeah.
Just
How do you think they're going to kill her off, though? Do you think they'll go with the knee hospital transplant thing, or you think they're going to kill her off by she was addicted to pills, so she just overdosed?
or the
Yeah,
third
yeah.
option is they're just
Death
not
by
gonna refer-
Ambien?
Yeah. Oh, that would be funny.
Oh,
that would
man,
be funny.
I don't know.
Or they're just not going to say it. Are they just going to
Yeah,
avoid
exactly.
it, kind of like beat around the
Avoid
bush
it
and go
all.
Yeah,
like not
Soundman brings up a good point with maybe just not even saying it because if you guys aren't familiar, Roseanne did walk away.
Yeah.
She's getting no financial gain and she's getting no credit, name recognition, nothing. But part of that deal to walk away is she did keep the rights to her character,
Yeah.
Roseanne, and any future spin-offs that would be developed off of Roseanne. So
You threw out a crazy big hypothetical earlier, freaking about what if she took Roseanne and those characters and went to somewhere like Netflix? That would be just crazy. Somewhere where like the Connors are still on, and then Roseanne pops back up
See,
on
and
Netflix.
and that's
That'd
the
be
thing,
Netflix
insane.
is already
because-
doing way too many stuff that's hurting them.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it was a
Without,
huge
like,
hypothetical.
it's a huge
like-
hypothetical, or just anybody, Amazon, anybody that
Yeah,
wants
exactly.
to try to do a reboot. Because here's the thing, she could do it because she could be Roseanne Connor,
Yeah.
And as long as everybody else on the show had nothing to do with the other characters, she could have been. She moved to a different state, different city. She remarried.
Crazy if like when they did the show, they did it like where all those years ago when you thought Dan died, it was actually Roseanne. It was like this weird like dream, like alternate state, like she died a long time ago, and they're just picking her up.
It's going to be weird because, like Chris said, you know, do they mention her or not? I think. You know, under the deal, I mean, I don't think they're allowed to reference Roseanne.
Oh man!
I mean,
so I don't know if they just make reference
how is that
to
trademark? No, I mean, if
your mother.
If you own a character, how is it bad that you're referring to a character? There's tons of movies that refer to other characters
I think
in other movies.
It was for this particular
situation
and contract to move the rest of the characters forward.
Yeah.
It was negotiated that way.
Yeah, but then all those people who see the thing is, then if she tries to sue, they have all rights to sue her for breach of contract to them.
Right. And so I mean, well, I think she's not going. I think she
should be liable for a lawsuit.
She should. But I do think this as whatever you think about her personally or politics or whatever she did, is she a racist, is she not a racist, whatever, I will say I do think that she was genuine in her feelings towards or friendship with the cast and crew.
Yeah.
While they might not like her anymore, I think she was genuinely real with them. And I think she made this deal and she's walking away because she really did care for them and doesn't want them to be hurt by it. So that's why I don't think she's ever going to come back in the future.
I don't think they're just going to kill the character. I think they're going to kill the character.
I think it'd be funny though if they like bleeped out her name whenever they had to reference her, like ever since Beep died.
No, I mean it's going to be fun to watch. I think there you go. The first episode will get a ton of viewers just to find out how they get rid of her. Yeah. So
exactly. Well, she even said this is going to save 200 jobs.
It is
for the cast.
It
and crew,
is,
so.
At least for another season.
Exactly.
And
so
that's
maybe
a
she
good
just
thing.
had an agreement just to walk away and let them use what's there.
Exactly. Well, keeping with Roseanne, we want to talk a little bit about. Did you guys see what Jerry Seinfeld said about Roseanne? Go ahead and tell them.
Yeah, Seinfeld kind of defended her a little bit by saying he thought that her firing was an overkill by ABC. And his terminology was, why would you kill someone who's already committed suicide?
Yeah.
And then he followed up by saying she was already done.
Talk about
she had already killed it, and firing her was just an overkill. And I'm going to try to defend Jerry here a little bit, but I'm not sure if I can. I think what he was trying to say is that the fans had already revolted. The fans had already left. And season 2 was going to come out of the gate disastrous with no ratings and have been canceled anyway. So to stir up the huge controversy and the big thing by firing her and doing all this stuff and basically poking the fire, I think is what he was trying to say is if you had just let season 2 come on, it would have caved after 2 episodes and she'd have been gone anyway. And you
but
could
she would
have
gotten
saved
paid
yourself.
for it still.
Exactly.
And I think that he's missing the point and what the message is behind firing her, regardless if the output had been the same, the end result, the message is, we're not going to put up with that. So if you have these thoughts and feelings, you better not express them.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And
I think that Jerry Springer.
that's whole
Jerry.
Jerry Seinfeld is more of like the defender of comedians.
Yeah.
On his show, he took like the third or like the first season, he went to Michael Richardson after his racial rant at the comedy store.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been kind of defending. He's just trying to say, hey, maybe we should not be attacking Roseanne. Maybe he's just trying to get people to not attack Roseanne as much.
Yeah, I totally get that point.
I
totally get that point, and I see you're right. He has in the past defended other comedians and stuff. But my thing is, and Logan and I were talking about this earlier, is what he forgets about, had they done that, is 200 jobs other than Roseanne's would have also been lost in the cancellation of the show and pay. And, when remember the rest of the cast of Seinfeld had to negotiate on their own as a group when he got the huge raise and they didn't. Yeah. And he's never, just seems to me in the past, never really been concerned about anybody but himself, and or the star, the front power, if you will. And I think this is another case of that. Like, okay, you're saying this about Roseanne, but what about all the other 200 people that also would have suffered had it been canceled, 2 shows into the second season? So, while you're trying to defend.
But on the same side, that's how television is, though. You can be on 200 people working on a show that just doesn't go anywhere and gets canceled. Happens.
Yeah.
Not saying what he's is against or trying to defend Jerry or so, but it's overall that kind of happens in that industry.
You're absolutely right, and even more so now, where you don't even get a chance. Before, a show would get a couple seasons to see if it could build viewership. Yeah. Now it's like if you're not a hit in the first 4 episodes, you're canceled.
Gone.
But
you look back in the past. MASH.
Yeah.
Has the greatest finishing episode.
Yeah.
It kept going from network to network.
Right.
It only got good because of reruns, because the position it was slotted in originally was a terrible time. And then the show built into this enormous thing.
And I think a lot of that has to do with content. There's so many providers now and so many people putting so much stuff out that if a show doesn't do well after 4 episodes, they've got something to immediately plug in to try to fit. Back in the day, that wasn't the case. You had to let a show see if it could build because you didn't have anything to replace it.
Already episodes.
Yeah.
So
like what I recall, like My Mother the Car.
Yeah.
Mother the Car. That's funny. Wow. Well, as I'm sure all you people who have Instagram have seen, they have started up a new thing, IGTV. I think it's going to be it's basically stories, but they can be longer than 15 seconds. I think this is going to be a new platform for vloggers. Because YouTube is kind of turning into like a how-to platform. If you think about it, people go to YouTube to see how they fix things, like in their house, their car.
How do I get the spark plugs
out
exactly.
of a I'll admit, I use YouTube for a lot of how-to shit, especially for like
That's my
Adobe.
last video was looking up how to get spark plugs out or how to get the boots out of a Ford Crown Vic.
Yeah, exactly. But with the 10-minute like increments, I think it'll be great for vloggers because they promote their stuff on Instagram anyway, so it'll just be on the same app. No, they don't have to change apps. People are lazy nowadays and don't want to change apps. So
and also different from stories is that it stays.
Yes.
It doesn't disappear after 24 hours.
Exactly.
You can choose to have it stay or delete it yourself.
It's like your own channel.
It's your own channel where your past videos are there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that'll
what would really bring vloggers, are they going to be sharing revenue?
That's a good point.
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing is like like Facebook tried to bring everybody over to Facebook. Are they sharing revenue with Facebook? Is there AdSense?
Yeah. Well, I think that you brought up a really interesting point, and I think that YouTube, on the video content side, is running into the same problem and making the same sort of transformation that Facebook did. Yeah. Where Facebook used to be the go-to place. That's where you talk to all your friends. That's where you share all your pictures. And it's kind of more turned into a convenient space for adults, for businesses, and for ads, and for like promoting.
Well, I was just watching today. They have shows. Jada Pinkett Smith has her own round table situation. Yeah, I was watching that today.
So it's kind of made that transition, and I think you bring up a good point. I think YouTube's doing that as well, where it's becoming more of a utility, and more of an informational tool than entertainment provider. And I think that, which is why I think you saw YouTube Red, now YouTube whatever it's called, Premium, because they saw that coming too, and they're trying to make the transition. Okay, well, we're going to put content here, and this will be our whatever it is instructional
I don't think that
type.
was like a plan, though. That's mostly because of the YouTube apocalypse that's happened. Because you can't curse.
Yeah.
You can't have a drink or make reference to drugs. You can't. No violent. You can't have anything that's like racy because they have to make everything family friendly for ads. Where ads are everywhere. Violent movies have product placement. Violent TV shows and TV shows that curse or have lots of gore, violence, like Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
That has tons of sponsorship.
But, it's not the
YouTube,
first time.
No, we can't. You have to be family safe, so everybody's leaving YouTube.
It's
There's
not the
tons
first
of providers
time, though, that we've seen
done.
that type of stuff happen in the industry. I mean, remember what a couple, I don't know, a decade or so ago, maybe a little bit longer than that, where all of a sudden you weren't allowed to have cigarettes in movies or TV shows.
Yeah.
Where
it's
right after
automatically R rating.
Yeah,
if you
right after the tobacco, suit won, and they were like, "Oh my God, it's bad, it's good."
Yeah.
Yeah. No, all of a sudden you couldn't have them in film.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of worked its way back now to where you're seeing it again. But yeah, I mean, it's not the first time where they've said you have to be this or you have to be that or you can't do this or you can't do that. And so how YouTube eventually gets around that or goes over that, who knows? But
I think it's funny how they kind of take a life of their own, like that they don't really control what kind of content and stuff eventually it comes to. It's sort of like users sort of pick what gets the most views and what they put up the most and where they look for different things.
That's how PewDiePie got popular.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just that it was a funny guy making gaming videos, and that became the #1 channel that most people are watching.
Yeah.
You're talking about Markiplier?
No, I said about PewDiePie before Markiplier. But Markiplier still is the same thing, though.
Yeah.
He was making fun and having videos.
Exactly.
Now he's gone away from gaming, and he's doing, or this is what I see, because he's doing, what is it, don't laugh.
Yeah, try not to laugh.
Yeah.
Try not to laugh challenges.
Yeah.
Like, why? How is this the most popular
Yeah,
thing
exactly.
ever? Like, what hole
guess
did
it's
I
trying to
like?
stay
What
with
cave
the
did I
times,
go
maybe.
to and appear out of and going?
Yeah.
I
What's
think for
this?
him, it's because his laugh is so contagious. It's hard not to laugh just from him laughing.
True.
Yeah.
I can
That's
see
true.
that. Yeah,
Yeah, but I think it
He's-
depends on your personalities. But I find his gaming ones hilarious.
Yeah.
no, they are. They are.
Anyway, sorry.
And but back to your Instagram television though thing, I think that both Facebook and YouTube were smart enough to be thinking ahead.
Yeah.
YouTube with YouTube Premium, and I don't know how many people are aware of it. Almost everybody I know didn't know. I always tell them, and they're like, "What?" Instagram is owned by Facebook.
Yes.
And when Facebook saw this transition coming, that they were leaning older now on Facebook, and that it was going more adult and it was going more business.
Yeah.
They jumped on Instagram, acquired Instagram because they
Exactly.
saw that's where the kids were flooding to,
Exactly.
and
Well, they
and-
also saw a lot of
young
people going over to Snapchat.
Yeah, and Snapchat.
So
So-
Facebook and Instagram were trying to grab. Oh no, they're going over to Snapchat.
Yeah.
We got to
Exactly.
get that quick content
That's why
back.
they started that stories and everything.
What was that quick video website that would have repeating videos
Vines?
over?
Vine.
Vines,
Vine.
yeah.
They also were trying to grab for the Vine market because
Yeah.
Vine shut down because they couldn't handle that
Yeah.
anymore.
Right.
So they were trying to do that with the quick little videos of my stories and that, trying to
Yep.
grab the Snapchat and Vine people and bring them over.
Well, and,
Yeah.
and what's really interesting, and I don't know how many people remember this back a few years ago too, is that before they got Instagram, which by the way, Facebook has figured out how to integrate ads successfully.
Center
Yeah.
for
You know,
everyone
and
ads.
Very
so,
much so.
well, that's Twitter's big problem.
Yeah.
They're still trying to figure out how to successfully do ads
Yeah.
and not piss people off and you see Twitter's trying to add video,
Yeah.
do video. Well, back
Video
in the
ads in
day,
between the
Facebook
videos.
offered to buy Twitter way back for a whole lot of money.
Oh, shit.
$1 billion, I think it was. And they said no.
Yeah.
Oops. Because now, they said, okay, fine. We're just going to go grab Instagram and
Yeah.
we'll pay a little more for Instagram. And now
Exactly.
Instagram is kicking butt with the ads, kicking butt with the video, slapping Snapchat around, and kind of
Yeah.
it's the go-to app. And Twitter's still kind of like,
I know.
There's
You
an
know, we
Apple
can't-
guy
we
over there.
can't
I'm
figure
surprised
this
you haven't
out.
said it that Apple built Instagram. You haven't said it
Well, that's-
once. I was
that's
waiting
true.
for you to
That's
start shining up your iPhone and
Right.
going, you know who originally did
Yeah,
this?
real nice.
It's true.
Real nice.
But just saying, I mean, sometimes when opportunity knocks, you should probably take it and
Yeah.
not be
Yeah.
stupid. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly.
I mean, Twitter, we love Twitter, and they're great at information,
Yeah.
and they're great at followers and celebrities and but trying to figure out how to make it profitable.
Yeah, exactly.
Facebook had the answer, and you passed, and
Yeah.
oops. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, we shall see. We're going to be trying out this IGTV with
We
our
are.
meeting videos, so be looking out for that. Next thing on the agenda, Star Wars, a rumor report. Star Wars, the Obi-Wan stories might go straight to Disney's streaming services.
Yeah.
How do y'all feel about this?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You don't
You
know?
know,
Well, after the last Star Wars, a solo story, I could see them doing that because they took quote unquote massive
So this is what they're doing with
loss.
Disney movies. They're just going to go straight to video. It's going to be straight to their streaming source.
I feel like it's what they're gonna quote unquote experiment with.
I think they've been successful with that kind of thing before.
Yeah.
Even before streaming services, they still would create movies just for DVD or just for video
Yeah, that's
and
true.
still make some money off of it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think they're used to looking at a movie and its profitability ability.
Yeah.
I mean, how we're doing Obi-Wan stories, are these going to be animated, 3D,
No, I think
or
they're gonna
No,
be
yeah,
live
they were going to
action.
be. Yeah, they were going to be live action, and it was supposed to follow along a Star Wars stories.
Yeah.
You know, Boba Fett was going to get one.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan was going to get one.
How
But
finish his
we just want to
Han-
see you. We just
yeah.
want to see
Lando,
Boba Fett get
like-
out of the Sarlacc.
But-
That's all the fans want to see is the
the
visual.
performance of Solo
and
and
possibly Last Jedi.
possibly Last
has
Jedi.
affected all that shit.
Yeah, because remember, it wasn't too long ago Disney boldly expressed that they had all these plans for Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly.
That they were going to do television shows direct for their streaming service, and they were going to do new animation, and they had all these solo films coming out of, and all this kind of boom, 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 boom. And then Last Jedi stumbled and Solo bombed. And now it's like, hold on a second,
Yeah.
maybe. And there's rumblings that Iger is not happy with Kathleen Kennedy and trying to push her out. So
Oh, snap.
Who is that again? I'm
Kathleen
Yeah, please.
Kennedy
I was going to
is-
ask the same thing.
She runs Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh.
she's
Was
the head
hand-
of
And
picked by
and yeah,
Lucas.
was with Lucasfilms and George Lucas
Yeah.
before it was acquired by Disney.
Exactly.
But there's rumors, and they've been denied, of course, but insiders are saying that it is indeed true that he's not happy because he's got these plans for Star Wars and the recent stumbles. He's not happy, and he's trying to get rid of her, and supposedly, maybe, made offers to people, and they turned him down because they feared what would happen if they said yes.
Yeah.
Because Kennedy and Lucas are still kind of powerful, even
Exactly.
though Disney owns Star Wars now. So now, whether that is all rumor mill or whether it is true, but there are a lot of people who say that it is true. So keep your eye on Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilms
Yeah.
because you might see something happen there that will determine what indeed does or does not happen
Yeah.
moving forward.
Or
with
is it
Star
just
Wars.
the Star Wars cow not putting out milk?
Yeah, exactly. That's
That's-
another thing we were discussing. What if people are just not excited about Star Wars anymore?
That's the thing.
Like,
I
oh my
mean,
goodness.
But
Well,
how
I
do
mean,
you-
I'm
in
still
other
excited.
medium, like the Star Wars video games, even Battlefront,
Yeah.
it still has a lot of hype, and a lot of people
Yeah.
Yeah.
are still, even they're getting mad at EA for the pay to win, and the
Yeah.
EA is trying to drop
All that
that
shit.
stuff
Well,
off,
I
but-
gotta tell you, I mean, I don't know as far as the films if they're tired or if they're there's only one way to actually figure out if it is fatigue or if it's something going wrong with how they're doing it.
Yeah.
I guess if you get rid of Kathleen Kennedy, you would find that out.
Yeah.
If they continue to perform bad, then it wasn't Kathleen. It's
Yeah.
just they're tired of it at the box office. But I will say I'm excited as hell for Jon Favreau's television series.
Yeah.
I mean, remember, they just signed him a few months back, and he's going to be doing a Star Wars television
Yeah.
series. And I love Favreau, and I have no doubt it'll be epic. So
Well, maybe
Yeah.
they just need to switch medium. Maybe they need to go from the big screen to the small screen, or
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
to the television.
Yeah,
I
if
mean,
they want to
whatever.
do all these little side stories, more do it on a smaller platform.
Right.
Which
Yeah.
is probably
Instead
why they're
not.
thinking about the streaming. It
Yeah.
might do better on a streaming basis where
Yeah.
they might be like, I don't know if I really want to go to the theater to watch it, but I'll watch it at home.
Yeah.
I'll see it. Maybe that's it. Maybe they will do better.
So
with
that's
that.
okay. That's an excellent point. Do they shift a Star Wars stories like Rogue One and Solo and Boba Fett and all that? Do they shift those to direct for their streaming service films? Do they make the films solely for the streaming service and not theatrical
it
release?
might depend on how these next official Star Wars does with Rey and them, because I'm interested.
I think so too. I think the individual stories would probably do better on a streaming service,
Yeah.
and the big overall
Yeah, the
arching
big one.
stories
Yeah.
would probably do better in the
I think so,
theaters.
too.
They could probably re-inspire interest through the little smaller stories on
Yeah.
this on the small screen, and then make people want to go see the bigger
Well,
ones.
Exactly.
Force Awakens kicked ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was no fatigue there. And J.J. Abrams is coming back for the third one.
Yeah.
So, and he says he's going to not necessarily stick to Rian Johnson's conclusions
Yeah.
in Last Jedi. And he
shit.
says he's going to kind of fix what the fans didn't like,
Yeah.
if you will.
Oh, man.
So we'll see if it's fatigue because
Yeah.
people like J.J. Abrams.
Yeah.
They liked Force Awakens, and he says he's going to fix what they didn't like in Last Jedi. So if he indeed does that, and he is J.J. Abrams, and it still performs badly, then fatigue is the answer.
Yeah, definitely.
But if not, then we'll see. I mean,
we just didn't want any more lens flares. Oh,
damn.
Yeah, JJ does love his lens flares.
Loves them.
He does.
We also want to talk about, because, I mean, I don't know when award season is, but the BET
Always.
Awards happened.
Yeah,
Freaking just another Black Panther takeaway for this one, man. Oh, my goodness. Best actor was Chadwick Boseman. Best movie was Black Panther. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Just
I
eating
mean,
it all.
What'd you say earlier? Shark, the
Shark.
Disney shark,
Yeah, exactly.
just keeps eating it up, man.
Exactly.
I mean, like, just they're everywhere.
Yeah, they
Makes
really
me think
are.
of
I mean,
the
and as
Family
it
Guy.
starts
I'm
to
gonna eat the
fade,
little legs.
yeah, and as it starts to fade, another one comes.
Yeah.
Like, Incredibles is starting to okay, it's been out a few weeks. Oh no, Ant-Man.
Yeah,
Ding, ding, ding,
boom,
ding,
boom,
ding,
boom.
I am
and
excited
then
about that
Ant-Man will go down and they're bing, bing, bing. Oh no, we got another one. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just they're
I just want
always
to see
there.
Michael Pena just do another one of his stories from Ant-Man. That's what
Yeah.
I want
By
to
the
see
way,
so bad.
Speaking of Ant-Man, though, did y'all see the picture of Michelle Pfeiffer, like really young? She looked like
Yeah.
straight up out of
Oh my
Grease 2.
goodness. She really
Like
did.
that young. Like
Wow.
they did it for her as a young Janet Van Dyne, like the original Wasp,
Yeah.
Oh.
kind of a thing. And I mean, it's like scary amazing. I swear, it looked like they just took a clip of her from Grease 2 and put it
Yeah.
in there or whatever.
Oh, my
but,
goodness.
So, and we saw them do that with Michael Douglas briefly, where he kind of looked like Gordon Gekko in the first
Yeah, he did.
Ant-Man.
He
You
did
know,
look like Gordon Gekko, yeah.
Well, apparently he's pretty fond of this technology
Yeah.
because he's recently come out and said he would love to do an Ant-Man movie as the original Ant-Man back when he was an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., working for
shit.
S.H.I.E.L.D. and stuff. And I'm like, that would be all of
Yeah.
that digital effect because,
Oh, my goodness.
while he might be actually doing the movements and, they're going to
Yeah.
have to young him up.
Exactly.
So he
Young
must
him
be a
up.
fan of the technology because,
Well,
he's
Oh, yeah.
They're gonna have to
apparently...
get through that lawsuit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Right.
Oh,
yeah, that we
goodness.
talked about last week. Because, he's apparently petitioning Marvel heavily to come on, let's do a prequel Ant-Man movie.
Hell yeah.
I'm
I should
excited
make a-
about it, but I just love Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
Anything with
Yeah.
Paul
Oh,
Rudd.
I mean,
I'm
well,
down.
I
He's
can
awesome.
say that the critics' reviews have been off the charts for it.
Oh,
They're
shit.
loving it.
Yeah.
And I so far everything I've seen from fan reaction that have seen it has been. I think it's going to be a hit.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a
Oh,
hit.
There's
man.
like 3 male actors that pretty much anything they do, I'll go see. It's Paul Rudd, Charlie Day, and Chris Pratt.
Nice. I
I'll go see any of them.
There's
Yeah.
a trend there.
There.
No,
Those
I don't
are a
think
very
so.
specific type of guy.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure.
I-
pretty sure
they're
all-
funny. They're all funny.
They're all funny. That's
They're
correct.
very
all
funny. I'm there for the funny.
Right.
Try and get me in trouble with
No,
Kevin Smith.
No. I meant,
No, it's okay. He loves all of them.
I
too.
meant
He's right there
character
with me.
traits. I did not mean anything else.
Oh my
anyway.
goodness. So anyway, but yeah, going back to the BET Awards,
right.
Jamie Foxx, Meek Mill, and a few others spoke a little bit about X's murder, and they said, we cannot get used to this because this type of behavior is not normal. We cannot keep seeing this. So I just like that they acknowledged it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a powerful statement too, and very true.
Yeah,
Most of
definitely.
us aren't used to just, people we know just getting killed randomly. And
Exactly.
that isn't normal.
With it's almost now become a shoot first, ask question
Yeah.
mentality.
Definitely.
And I don't know. It's like the chicken and the egg question about how it started.
Yeah.
Was it because police feared for their lives because they were getting attacked, and so now it's turned to where they're so scared they tend to shoot first now because they're so?
Yeah.
Or was it the other way around? Are they being attacked because maybe they were violent? Who knows? It's a chicken and an egg. I mean,
Exactly.
where it started, I don't know. I mean, there's blame on both sides, but it is now getting to the point where every day it seems like somebody gets pulled over, somebody gets shot.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then they realize, oops, it was a cell phone, or he wasn't actually
Exactly.
running.
Well, you
or he
saw that one
wasn't-
cop was just charged.
was
with
just
that.
charged
Yeah.
with the murder of that teenager. Yeah, because he ran from a traffic stop.
Exactly.
Well,
And
if it doesn't change, it will become normal. Unfortunately,
Exactly.
it will become what people are used to and expect.
No.
And that's not good.
no,
We
and
can't
it's
allow that.
No.
yeah, it's bad,
Yes.
and it needs to
But I mean,
change.
it's a hard line. The thing is, you're worried about being killed.
It
And
is.
then
I
how
mean,
either
far
side,
are you
though.
going to be pushing
Yeah,
that?
exactly.
Then you start getting paranoid. Everything's
Well,
out to
Everything.
kill you. Everyone's
but
out
that's
to
the
kill
thing,
you.
though. When you get into a situation and both sides are jittery, Because I'm sorry, but if you're the other side and you see the cops roll up on you, you're nervous about getting shot.
Yeah.
And on the same sense, if you're an officer and you're rolling up on somebody that you think probably has a gun and might be up to some bad shit, both parties are walking in trigger happy and nervous.
Exactly.
It's never going to end good. I mean,
we're just back in the Wild West. That's the thing. We're just right back in the Wild West, and everybody's sitting with their hand on their gun.
And so I don't know.
But X's murder wasn't with cops, though, right? It was
no.
It
was just random vibe. But that's because apparently it's become a culture where everybody just thinks it's okay if you get into a disagreement to shoot.
Yeah.
You know, there is no discussing. There's no arguing. There's not even a beat down. Now it's just shoot and kill, and it's like it's crazy.
It really is.
Let's make the transition though. We kind of we'll skip it because we already talked about Hulu and but let's make the transition from what Jamie Foxx said and into, because Netflix this week took a huge lost almost $12 billion in worth. And their stock dropped drastically. It's rebounded over the past couple days. But the reason being is because their chief communications officer, Jonathan Freeland, apparently had been dropping the N-word rather frequently. And
do people not learn?
And
it
did not go over so
what
well.
The hell?
And when it came out, and much to Reed Hastings' credit, he immediately fired him when he found out. And said he's done a lot to expand our brand. I credit him for putting our, the success of our streaming service and blah, blah, blah. But that's just not acceptable, it's not okay. And no matter what he's done for us, he's got to go. And he fired him.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
You gotta do so to Reed Hastings' credredit, well done. Exactly. I think it was the right move. You put what's right over money, and it cost $12 billion. But and it's funny though, because I want to say maybe Reed didn't know because he seemed to have been taken by surprise and then fired him when he found out about. But I find it ironic that just as that's happening, Netflix put out a diversity video, if you will, highlighting 47 different black filmmakers and and leads. And so as that's going down, I'm like, did you kind of see this coming? And now you're trying to rebound with having this ready to go? Yeah. Or was it just because you were trying to do it? Was it a coincidence?
Yeah.
Or I mean, it was just interesting timing. It worked. I think that this morning, because the stock has rebounded and it does appear to be recovering from, I think, based on Reed's right move, and then the showing they are for diversity, they are for, I think that's why it's recovering.
I think people are starting to understand that, like, especially with companies showing that they have a zero tolerance policy for it, people are starting to understand that companies can't control the individual person and what they say and their actions and and how they treat people, but they can control if they find out about it and what they do about it. Right. And so I think people are understanding of that. As long as they handle it the right way, people are like, okay, well, you can't always know that someone's an asshole when you fire or when you bring them on, but you find out. So.
But how stupid!
That is
exactly.
Really
you are making a ton of money. I am making nothing.
Ain't nobody
and I know
anymore.
not to say certain words.
Luke Cage, but Luke Cage. Well, speaking of, I'm just going to give Netflix some props right there as far as diversity goes. If you haven't watched Luke Cage season 1 or season 2, it's phenomenal. And it is entrenched with black culture and black history and the struggle of what goes on in the community amongst blacks against blacks or blacks against cops or whites and also Asians and Italians. And it brings all of it in. It's heavily influenced by black culture and black music. So they've done a great job I think they are on the right path and they are doing the right thing as far as diversity goes. And I would highly recommend, if you haven't watched it yet, watch that show because it's a really solid show by Marvel and Netflix.
Oh, I've been wanting to watch it.
Yeah, no, they're both outstanding.
Yeah.
So good. And by the way, and just for that, before this N-word controversy came out or before the diversity video or whatever, I mean, I don't think people might not remember, but they added Susan Rice from the Obama administration onto their board of directors a while back, African American, signed the deal with the Obamas, and so I mean they've been making moves for a while with diversity. So I think this was just an unfortunate
idiot who had to open his dumb racist mouth and ruin and cost the company $12 billion.
But they did the right thing. So
oh my goodness,
they'll recover, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And just real quick before we jump to the Academy, because we're sticking with this theme of diversity and equality and all this kind of stuff. Did you see the little Me Too sexual harassment video that Donald Glover
I did not see that.
It's a little animated
boy.
one.
Yeah.
And Rashida Jones actually directed it, and
let me see
and he
Rashida.
voiced it.
Oh,
you know,
really?
Donald Glover voices
Yeah.
it, and it's basically these little kind of I won't say stick figures because they're a little fuller than stick figures, but you know, crudely drawn kind of little figures or whatever. And he's basically walking around like, what's acceptable and what's not? It might be confusing, you know. And he's like,
goodness.
and it starts off with like, for example, is it okay to walk into work and greet your coworker with a full bare body hug and a kiss on the lips? No. You know, and it's like, you know, and it just does those things. And it's like, okay, next. Is it okay to say, wow, those pants look sexy on you? No. You can think it,
Oh my
you know,
God.
but don't
Yeah.
say it, or they might not want your attention.
Exactly.
They might just think they look good in the pants, but don't want you to tell them.
So he just
You know,
created
kind
a
of
sensitivity training video in the old
yeah.
50s.
Yeah, to question because it's confusing. And then he goes into even elaborating more about what if you like somebody? Is it okay to ask them out if you work together? Or kind of, and he goes into all these different type things. I thought it was just very
Yeah,
entertaining,
might have
and
to look
it's
that up.
fun to watch. Which if you're going to send a message to people,
Yeah.
and you're trying to convey, make it fun,
Yeah,
you know, make it
exactly.
entertaining. And it kind of ends with, it says, if you still have questions and are still confused, go to the website, www.keepyourdickiniyourpants.no. You know, and then it switches to go to www.metoo.org or
Yeah.
something like that, the real website. It
Yeah.
points
It kind
up
of
to,
reminds me
That's
of
funny.
the little video that came out. It was like a British one, and it was about consent, which is a
Right.
little different. But it was like comparing it to a cup of tea. It's like if your friend comes over and asks for a cup of tea and then changes their mind, it's not okay to force them to drink the cup of tea.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And so it was like it kind of broke it down in a sense, which it was a little bit more like just pointing out how if you compare it to something else, it's really
Yeah.
quite simple. Whereas this seems like it's going into the more complex
Right.
issues of it or whatever. But that's sort of reminds me of because it's kind of like little stick figures too.
Yeah,
yeah.
no, absolutely.
That's funny.
And speaking of the Academy,
Academy.
the Oscars,
Uh-oh.
you know, they invited a record 928 people to join the Academy this year. If all except
Is that to go to the event, or that's
no,
their
that's
part of
to
the?
be part of
Like
the
a
Academy
voting
and
system.
vote on the
Oh,
awards and do
wow.
all the stuff, right? If they all accept, which why wouldn't they?
Yeah, exactly.
If they all accept, and many have already, by the way, the Academy will be comprised 38% people of color
Yeah.
and 49% female.
Nice.
So while they still have a ways to go, everybody
course.
remembers the Oscar so white controversy and then the all male, no female directors kind of a thing going on. They clearly have a way to go still, but definitely
Working towards
on
it.
the, I mean, 49% female if they all, that's almost a 50-50 split.
Exactly.
So, you know, and while 38% they got a ways to go on the people of color.
Yeah.
It's a huge jump because I mean a while back not so good.
Exactly.
So kudos to them
Hell
for
yeah.
moving in the right direction.
Definitely.
They want to double their number of women and diverse members by 2020. So if they jump to that right there to 49% and 38%, and they do another 900 something members,
Yeah.
you know, next year of the same type makeup, they could potentially double those numbers by 2020 like they want to. So
Exactly.
I'm just thinking about like if you're trying to put your movie into the Academy and get it up there, you're supposed to give gift baskets to every member.
Every single member.
928
That's
that's
Yeah.
that's just new members. I mean,
Jeez.
think about all the members that still exist.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Exactly.
I wonder
Some
how much
think
people
they
are
have
all
spending on
meetings.
gift bags.
Yeah.
And what gift bag company is making a killing?
Ask
Yeah,
Christiane
definitely.
Soap makes a killing because they're like in that gift bag every
Oh,
year.
shit.
Yeah, at the Oscars. Did
That's
you guys know
funny.
that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, because of Robin.
Yeah, because of Robin Roberts,
Oh,
I guess
yeah.
is how it
Wow.
initially started.
Yeah.
But I mean, she puts stuff in there almost every year for the
Damn.
gift bag, so that's pretty
Damn.
awesome.
You think the
Um,
Academy has meetings?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
all of them.
Yeah, but like
Gift bag
how?
party.
Yeah.
Everybody bring your 5,000
No, but I
gift
bet
bags.
they do have diversity groups and different groups within the academy that,
Yeah.
that meet on a
Probably
regular
like chapter
basis.
based, like a
Yeah.
motorcycle club.
Yeah.
It's just
Hell
like,
yeah.
oh, we're the Southern California
Yeah,
Eastern.
Hell yeah, that's funny.
It's like a weird makeup. Is it like Congress? They have caucuses, you
Right?
know, like you
what
know.
the fuck?
I don't know. It's
Yeah,
kinda-
but 900, just new members, 928.
Yeah,
yeah,
great.
that's a
That's a lot of
lot of
people.
that's a lot of people.
Hell
I mean,
yeah.
it is. All them people voting.
Hell yeah.
All right, and
Well,
we
if we want
can't-
to keep with Academy stuff, this is jumping into a little bit of music.
Yeah.
But if we want to keep with the Academy, the Grammys are the other Academy.
The other academy.
Other Academy?
The Grammys are expanding their nominees list for a few different categories for top album, top song, top record, and top new artist. You know how it was top 5 for the nominating system? It's going to be changed to the top 8. Just trying to get more people in there so it can be more fair. They're just always trying to go with the climate, get more. They want to be more fair to everybody.
Yeah, and keeping with your music theme, I saw today too that Billboard has now announced that streaming services, Spotify and maybe Tidal. I can't remember what the other one was.
Yeah,
will now be included in the charts.
Really? Well,
so not just airplay, but
that's
streaming
good.
is going to be included in the top 100.
And,
that
should have been done
200.
like
a long
5
time
years
ago.
ago.
Yeah.
Agreed. So I think everybody is
5-10 years
quickly
ago.
realizing. Probably too late for some.
Yeah.
Others were on it way when they should have been, but they're all quickly realizing that that's where everything is going.
When you think about it, the sales in hard copy CDs have decreased so much in the past few years because everything's streaming.
Okay, just let's go with this. Where is the nearest CD store?
Right.
Music store.
Exactly. Amazon.
Go to Walmart, the CD section.
If maybe.
Okay, again, back in the day, Walmart, I'm going to talk about our own Walmart right over here. They had 2 rows.
Yeah.
Now it's
It is now an 8-foot section.
Exactly.
4-foot
Yeah.
section.
Yeah.
It's just it's just 2 shelves, and they're looking at even bringing that just down to 1 shelf.
Oh, wow.
And half of it's going to be probably just Latino, and then popular and the $5 bin.
Well, and just briefly keep on this. It's not just the music industry or whatever. Everybody's kind of making this move. About a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, Nielsen jumped on it to where now ratings include DVR recordings and after, like after viewership or like a recording, they add that to it to how many people watched it. Where before, if you recorded it, it didn't count. The numbers, the ratings were based solely on who watched it when it was on. But now they're adding DVR to it, and they're all kind of making it because that's where it really is.
Exactly.
You have to expect that with so much content available in music and TV and films. People can't watch them all. Half the time, maybe you want to watch a show and you have 4 of your favorite shows are all on at the same time. You're going to be DVRing something.
Exactly.
And for it to maybe get canceled because it didn't get ratings because you had to watch this one or not that one. So I'm glad that they're all kind of making these moves and saying.
And the same thing on streaming sources. It's like you could have gone out and downloaded all your music.
Right.
And that would have been illegal, and they had no count and no way of knowing. Or they could just went with a streaming source and then having the count there. I go on Google Play all the time. I'm looking at the top artists on who's being streamed on what, and whatever. It's gotta be nice. That should be included in Billboard. I'm surprised
you guys
it took
remember
them that
LimeWire?
now.
LimeWire, man. LimeWire, man.
No. I hate LimeWire because it was nothing close to Kazaa.
Kazaa was
so
good
much
too, but
better.
man, I'm not gonna lie, I used LimeWire like crazy.
Yeah, I did too.
Okay, and we can't do a show without talking about MoviePass.
Of course.
Man.
I thought there was AMC in here. Again.
Well, AMC plows into MoviePass here. MoviePass announced that they had passed 3 million subscribers, which congratulations.
Whoop, whoop.
But they took another massive dive in the stock. It recovered nicely up to like 45 or 50 cents when they made that stock offering or whatever, but then dove again because they announced some changes to the service once again. And apparently one of their huge investors for Helios Matheson in Europe was arrested, and there's some shady stuff going on with his business dealings and stuff, and that didn't play well on the market. Which
country was he?
I want to say China, but anyway, so it nosedived again. I think it last was like 24 cents or something per share, and you're talking about a share that just less than a year ago was like $38 a share. It's 24 cents a share right now. I will say, with competition coming, and we'll talk about that in a second, AMC coming, AMC Theaters, not AMC the channel, but AMC Theaters. With competition coming, MoviePass is making some hiccups again. And as you guys know, me and Logan here, me and J-Lo, we love MoviePass, and we tout it constantly, and we think it's a great. But every now and then they make some dumb moves, and this is a dumb move. If y'all are listening, this is a dumb move. They're getting ready to do this premium fee for high demand films.
This is so stupid.
Meaning, like, if you go to see a movie and they determine
Yeah.
that it's in high demand or at a peak time, say opening day, like if we go on the weekends to do our show, it would be opening day. But if they determine it's a peak time or in high demand, you will have to pay a fee on top of your monthly subscription fee, anywhere between $2 and $16, depending on how they determine it in demand it is.
That's not fair.
I mean, like, but no. Here's the thing: how are they going to collect that?
They charge it monthly with your thing. They just add it to your $9.99 monthly fee. So they determine how many movies you saw in high demand.
$16, you might as well just buy a ticket without it.
Exactly. So bad move. I think, remember a few months ago when they increased the price to like $15 a month and they dropped how many movies you could see or whatever. You couldn't see it that lasted for how long? And then it went right back to, no, we were just testing it.
Just kidding.
I think this is going to be no, we were just testing it because it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to pay extra shit. The whole beauty of Movie Pass is to go see a movie every day whenever you want to see it and whatever you want to see.
Exactly.
You've already limited how many times we can see it. Now you're going to make us pay more to see it? Like, it's not going to work.
Yeah,
okay?
it kind of pissed me off the other day. I wanted to go see a movie, and I was like, wait, I've seen all of them,
these movies,
so I can't even
I couldn't even go see it twice.
Yeah.
Which, come on, sometimes we want to see it twice.
Exactly.
That was the whole
then
deal.
they'll add a fee for that. If you want to see it twice, you have to pay another fee again.
Stop. Keep working on what you're doing, trying to get the concession deals.
Yes.
Because apparently they say by the beginning of next year they could go into profitability because apparently they are working on some sort of a deal with concessions and tickets to where basically they're going to work out deals with not the concession providers and restaurants.
Yeah.
Local restaurants, like if you show your stub and you show that you used Movie Pass, you get this coupon for a meal at a restaurant or whatever. And so they're looking at ways to counteract having to pay those full prices for those tickets and not have to take those hits.
Yeah.
Keep working that because that'll work. Don't do this other bullshit. You're going to lose subscribers. It's not going to be
all
good.
I'm thinking is like what happens at the library. It's like, oh, you didn't return back this book. You owe this much. Okay, I just don't go to the library anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, I won't pay. Okay, I won't pay it, and I'm just going to cancel my card, and you can stuff it.
So quickly, AMC's coming out with one, though. AMC, what are they calling it? Their Stub A-list.
Yeah.
It's $20 a month, but you do get 3 movies a week. So what? That's 12 movies a month.
With concessions, right?
Yeah, you get a discount on the concessions, and it includes 3D movies or IMAX, which at this point Movie Pass does not.
True.
So you are seeing.
I can see where there's a deal. Like if you go to IMAX and love IMAX movies.
So what is it going to be like? Everyone's going to have like several different Movie Pass subscriptions or Movie Pass type subscriptions, like they have several different streaming service subscriptions.
Well, AMC is clearly, remember, they've been against Movie Pass from the get-go, and now they're trying to, if you will, copy Movie Pass a little bit. But I mean, their deal isn't so bad. I mean, 3 movies a week, that's about, on average, what we see. So it would be $10 more, but you could make up the $10 because you do get the discount on concessions.
Yeah.
So, it's not, you make up the extra $10 right there. The problem,
wait, also here, bring a friend.
And bring a friend.
I didn't see that.
The problem with AMC is that it's just AMC theaters.
Yeah.
So where Movie Pass is all the theater, no matter where you go. Like when I go next week to North Carolina, I'm going up into my Regal theater and I can use my Movie Pass. Well, if there's no AMC theater, I can't do that. Yeah. So that's going to be their problem, is that they're not as attainable in as many spots as Movie Pass is. So, which is why AMC will probably be profitable because they're not paying for every movie, ticket at every chain.
Exactly.
So I don't know. So anyway, that just listen to us, Movie Pass. We want to help you out.
So
we want to help you out.
I'm excited. I want to go to the next AMC one.
Oh yes, this
but
time
it's a different AMC.
Yeah, the channel.
So I found these 2 stories that are both kind of related to AMC. The first one is, of course, Walking Dead. One of the main things people think about when they think of AMC.
Wait, what's Walking Dead?
I'm gonna bonk you on the head with this mic. Anyway,
goodness.
Waking Dead, the British show?
Oh,
Sorry.
No.
I saw this article about people theorize that a Daryl and Aaron romance would be a good idea for the show.
Yeah.
And they say this because, obviously Andrew Lincoln is leaving and Daryl's going to have to step up and be a leader, and they're trying to figure out what would make him a more compelling character again and a better leader.
Yeah.
So this article, and it was totally opinion based. It wasn't about rumors or anything. It's just what this one particular writer thought should happen, and they thought that these 7 reasons were why it could work. And I think it's interesting. It would give Daryl a compelling story again, which is what I said. It would explain his metamorphosis into a leader. The apocalypse, I can't talk. It's going to need a new power couple. Interesting thought.
It's the pressure.
They already have a bond, which is true. They used to go out and do their little independent runs, all that stuff. Aaron needs someone to help him heal after Eric's death. The show has always been vague about Daryl's sexuality, which is true. He's never seen in a relationship with anybody.
Yeah.
People thought that certain things were going to happen, which is what the 7th one is. Carol and Daryl apparently is never going to happen. So
I always thought maybe kind of sort of in a weird way because of the age gap a little bit, but I always thought Beth and Daryl kind of were going to happen and then didn't.
And then she died.
Yeah. And he was pissed about that.
He was very devastated with that. Which some of that, you could explain, well, Daryl just always blames himself for the people's deaths that he cares about. You could kind of explain it that way, but it's true that he never has been. But I don't think they really need to make him gay because they already have prominent gay characters in Jesus and Aaron and Eric. They already have that representation, so it's not they're being exclusive to any type of person.
They're already being diverse. They're already being, showing equality and showing, they're already doing that. So just to do the storyline to do it wouldn't make sense.
Right. If it doesn't feel natural.
It doesn't feel natural. And are you doing it just to replace? Does anybody really want? Yeah,
like I said, it was just an opinion article, but I thought it was interesting because we love The Walking Dead.
No,
speculating about.
But my thing is
where they were going to go with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Daryl and Aaron. Are they strictly looking at Daryl and Aaron as a replacement for Rick and Michonne? It's just not going to work.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's my opinion. Maybe it does.
So the next one is, of course.
Sorry, let me just finish.
Okay.
If anybody sees them in real life and you want some real shit and some believable shit, I'm just going to say Norman Reedus and Jeffrey Dean Morgan kissing on each other constantly out in real life. They got a real bromance going.
Now that would be
Let's make a Negan Daryl romance.
But Negan is so overtly straight and into women that I think that would be hard to sell.
Or
because
is he?
Maybe
had
it's 7 wives.
Yeah, he had 7 wives.
They're all beards. All beards.
That's an elaborate cover-up, especially at the end of the world when who is anyone to judge anyone anymore.
We come back and he's renamed the
There
Bat Daryl.
are no closets to come out of anymore. They're all been destroyed.
Oh my God.
Anyway, so back to the Chris Hardwick thing, which we talked about last week. I was reading some more about this. 2 women have come forward as his current wife and another ex-girlfriend to defend him and say, look, this is not who we know, and I don't think that you're right for saying this. And the first one is his ex-girlfriend, Jacinda Barrett, I believe.
Yeah, who's now married to, if you guys are Suits fans, Gabriel Mock, the Harvey Specter from Suits. That's his wife now.
So I just want to read her quote. It's a little bit long, so bear with me. But she said, this past week I watched someone I once loved and shared 4 years of my life with be publicly accused of misconduct and abuse, then swiftly fired and shunned. And she kind of posted this picture on Instagram that said, the accuser's story bears no resemblance to the one I shared with him all those years ago. But what is of supreme importance here is that every woman and every man deserves a voice, accuser and accused. Everyone deserves to be heard. A rush to judgment denies the right to due process. The Me Too movement deserves due process. And she also, this is the one where she had the image with words on it. I know, right?
Yeah.
She said, imagine you were in a courtroom. A person walks in and, in their own words, reads a statement accusing you of wrongdoing. The punishment for the crime is to lose your livelihood, legacy, reputation, and to be publicly shamed. Without any examination of evidence, without due course, the judge turns to everyone in there and says, what do you think, guys? Guilty? It's a good point.
Yeah.
It's an excellent point. And we've kind of talked about this numerous times, and we're always walking on eggshells when we do, because I always say I don't want this to sound like I'm not against the Me Too movement.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah. But the fact is it's looking like, it's beginning to look like, and we don't know yet, but it is beginning to look like this could be bullshit.
You're guilty.
And we've talked
until
about that
you're proven
about
innocent.
now where a woman
outside the court
could
of law
now, because of the Me Too movement, destroy basically anybody they want to by just saying it.
Without
and
any
with
proof.
what happened with Chris Hardwick,
Yeah.
now we don't know. I'm not discounting her story. It could be true. We do not, but that's the point. We don't know.
Exactly.
And for people to just assume because she said it, it's true, and just exile, Hardwick.
Yeah.
Well,
I
and
mean-
I liked his wife's response too, and she also stood up for the Me Too movement and said, "Look, I've been in relationships that were what she's describing, and it is important for these people to be able to get their voices out there and to be heard and explain, and for everyone to go after the Harvey Weinsteins is totally right,
Yes.
But she's saying that this is not the man that I know, and I'm standing up for him not because it's a right thing to do, but just because he's my husband, but because he's a good person. She says he's a good man. And, this is not the person that they know. So it's just, again, I mean, not to say that the other girl is necessarily wrong, and we weren't there, we don't know how he treated her, but it's really kind of looking like two other women are saying no.
Yeah.
Even an ex-girlfriend is like, no, he
Yeah.
was never like that with me.
I really hope this case goes to a court of law, and if he is innocent, proves him innocent, then he immediately, and makes this a huge case, sues AMC and every accusatory
That'd be crazy.
immediately to set precedents that you cannot just go out there and say this and get away with it.
Here's
And then the companies who are immediate to fire without any evidence.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know that they actually fired him, though. I think they're
That's
just
what
sort
they're
of
saying, but that's
backing off
still
the
Yeah.
that's
relationship.
still.
But it's a hard line for
They-
them as a company because
Right,
now there's
'cause
such
if
a
they
hard
don't-
no tolerance rule
exactly.
now.
But we should.
That's an excellent point, because now if the company doesn't immediately make a response, then they're being
looking
judged.
And if it did come out that
immediately.
he was doing that and it was proven true, then they would be judged for not having done anything about it
Immediately
before.
done
So it's
anything
really
about it,
But that's what we need to
tough
set
spot.
that type of standard. That needs to be set in that. Look, companies need to follow the same law and follow what the
And-
court says.
I want to say this though too. There's one more reasonable explanation that could possibly be true. They're both telling the truth.
Misunderstanding.
It's not impossible to think that maybe their relationship was volatile.
Yeah.
Maybe she knew how to push his buttons, or vice versa. Who hasn't been in a bad relationship where maybe you didn't think it was going the way you thought and there was arguments, or that, he could have had a perfect relationship with the ex and a great relationship with his wife.
Right.
But also have had a bad relationship with her.
Exactly.
I mean, that is a possibility.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
nobody to just immediately rush to judgment, like you said, without knowing, and just to basically castrate him and shove him away is
And
basically.
he did admit that. He did admit that was not a good relationship, and
Right.
they even argued and even screamed at each other sometimes.
Right.
I don't know that necessarily. I guess it depends on the nature of it and what
Right.
they were saying. I don't know that necessarily counts as abuse, especially if they're screaming at each other.
Right.
Sometimes loves make you crazy.
It's
Makes you do
true.
crazy shit and say things you don't mean.
It's true.
But
Then we gotta play the song "Crazy Love." All
Yeah,
the
that's
time
right.
now.
Yeah.
All right, and now this is getting deep, but I do want to add one more thing to it before we lighten it back up. It's not just women.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kudos to Terry Crews, who went before Congress this week and testified on his sexual abuse and Me Too case.
Yeah,
okay,
that's awesome.
It happens to men too.
Exactly.
And it happens by women women of power sexually abusing men, and men abusing men.
Yeah.
Terry Crews was abused by a man.
Exactly.
And it has there's a harder case against men sometimes because they're stigmatized for trying to say anything. They're seen portrayed as
seen,
less sexual.
emasculated.
Yeah.
Because why would you ever turn down the advances of a woman? Then
Right.
you're
Yeah.
not a real
Right.
man, and so
Yeah.
they have an even harder time being believed and taken seriously sometimes than women.
And
sometimes.
to elevate that point even more, like for Terry Crews, it's even more difficult when you're a straight man abused by another man, and then
Yeah.
the question of your own, sexuality comes into play because you were attacked by another man. Oh, you liked it, you wanted, maybe you're really gay, kind of. Because he went through a lot of that,
Yeah.
and he's lost jobs because of it too. Apparently, he's not going to be in the next Expendables
saw that
movie
too.
because people don't want to work with him because he's come forward and they've basically asked him, "Don't come back.
Yeah.
We don't want you back."
That's
And
shitty.
so, kudos to him for doing the right thing also. And I just really wanted to put that out there. It's
Definitely.
not, if we're going to hardcore the Me Too movement and we're going to do the right thing for sexual abuse and making sure that it stops and we put an end to it throughout, we have to understand that it's men and women and
Yes.
not just women that are victims.
Tavia loves Terry Crews.
That's right.
Oh yeah,
He's
Terry
awesome.
Crews is
That's right.
freaking awesome.
Hell yeah.
So,
Hell yeah.
all right, should we lighten
Anyway,
it?
so yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
let's lighten it up.
I just wanted to bring that.
No,
Yeah,
I think that's
definitely.
fantastic.
No,
I mean,
and that was
absolutely
perfect-
fantastic,
Exactly.
and we needed to talk about it because it's an
Exactly.
issue that affects us. I mean, come on, every step we make towards making the Rain Gatherers and everything we do of our future projects, it's in our head.
Yeah.
We're thinking about it. You have to,
Yeah.
because you know everything you say or every move you make might be construed in the wrong way, and you have to be careful. I mean, it's
It's our responsibility as a content producer and a media producer to understand how we're affecting things, what messages
Right.
we're sending, intentionally or unintentionally.
That's right.
Exactly.
I mean,
anyway.
Exactly. Got to think about
no,
everything.
You're right. I mean, we have a brand, and you know, we care about our brand and what we put out there, and we
Yeah.
want people to know what we think. So,
Hell yeah.
if we get a little deep sometimes, it's because we care, and
Exactly.
we want you guys to know how we feel and what we
Exactly.
think. So,
Grab your
yeah.
snorkel. I'm going
right.
deep.
We're
But anyway,
going deep.
and I don't want to be sad anymore, so make me not sad.
You're good. You're good. Switching over to music, Chance the Rapper, a Chicago artist and activist, is set to headline a concert next month in his hometown to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Special Olympics. This is really awesome because all of the profits are going towards the Special Olympics. So to
Yeah,
raise
that's
funds.
yeah,
awesome.
that's really awesome.
Yeah, and he's going to have big guys with him like Usher and Jason Mraz. So, I mean, it looks like it's going to be really successful.
Hell
so
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
really awesome. And ticket prices vary from, you can pay $50, the minimum price, or you can pay up to like $150, whatever you want to give.
He
So-
seems like a genuinely nice
Yeah.
guy, like just
Yeah.
a really cool
Yeah.
dude.
He's
No, he
really
really
involved
does.
with the Chicago school system, or at least tries to be, and
Yeah.
voice his opinions and everything. So
Yeah.
it's really cool. He's only like 23, 24.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's really cool to see a bright young man trying to do something good in the
I
community.
still remember there was like a little meme that came up where apparently he was taking a selfie and Beyonce popped in it for a second.
Yeah.
And
He
it
freaked
took him
out.
a moment to realize
Yeah.
it was her, and he was like, "That
Oh
was
my God.
Beyonce."
Yeah, it was so freaking awesome.
That is so funny.
I always
yeah.
liked that the photo bombing in
Yeah.
celebrity
Oh, yeah.
photos
Yeah.
of
It's
other
always-
celebrities
Like the
bombing
kid that
each
got
other.
photobombed by Justin Timberlake. And
Yeah.
He's just like,
Yes.
Well,
I
and
didn't even know
remember
who
what
that
was
was.
a few weeks back? The people over in London who got photobombed by the Queen.
No,
She
yeah.
popped up in there like, oh shit! That's
Oh
the
my
Queen.
God.
Okay. Oh, that's
That would
pretty,
be crazy.
Yeah,
You go
how-
back and
I-
look at
you
your
know.
phone.
Hey, can we just talk for a minute? Was Barry Gibb knighted because he's like the only survivor? It's like, how did that go down? Did
Wait,
Prince
what?
Philip say, as the sole survivor of Brothers Gibb, you are now knighted as Sir Barry Gibb? Like, you know, the Bee Gees, Barry
Oh.
Gibb. It's like, it did.
Oh yeah, I need an
did this go
explanation
down-
too. I was about
I
to
mean,
go. What are
no,
you
no,
talking
I-
about?
He's
you
a
guys are
gaffer,
so
bro.
young.
It's
The
a-
Bee Gees.
I know who the
man.
Bee Gees
The
are.
okay.
I just didn't know
But my
that.
thing is, the
His
Bee
name
Gees
came-
have been around.
completely went over
the
my
Bee
head.
Gees have been around forever.
Yeah.
Like ever. Andy Gibb before them, and they're like iconic and they're. Why now?
Yeah.
It's like, were they waiting? Or is it
Right.
like,
Like-
is he being knighted because he's the only survivor?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't understand.
You have to make it to 75 before you can be
If
knighted.
The
you
lone
shall
survivor.
survive the Brothers Gibb, you will be knighted. I mean, it's like, what?
Oh.
And then it was Philip. It wasn't
Yeah.
even the Queen. Philip did it.
Another
Yeah.
quick London story. Did anyone see the carpool karaoke with Paul McCartney?
Oh my, yes.
That was
not.
pretty
Oh
awesome.
my gosh.
You should
Paul
watch that. It's kind of
Yeah.
long. It's like it's the clip I saw was like the whole episode.
Yeah.
It's like 15 minutes, but it's so good. And he makes what's the guy's name?
James Corden?
Yeah, he makes him like tear up when they're singing.
Oh, no.
I think it was Let It Be,
Yeah.
because he was explaining where he got the inspiration from that from
Oh,
a dream
shit.
with his mom after his mom had passed away. Who
Yeah.
came and told him that Let It Be when he was
Oh,
all
my
stressed out
goodness.
about a lot of things. And
I
they went and
mean-
visited his home
Yeah.
town and his old home, and he played a concert in like the local bar and
Yeah.
surprised all the people that were in the bar. Like all of
Wow.
a sudden the curtains open, it's like freaking Paul McCartney
Yeah.
playing for you, and everyone's
Yeah.
like, "What?"
What the
And-
heck's
and-
going on?
I mean, come on, it's Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
How awesome
Come
is
on
it?
now.
By the way, well done. New music.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, Paul McCartney is putting out
Which
new music.
James
Like,
was super savvy to make sure he promoted that too and
Hell
played some
yeah.
of that and
Of
sang it with
course.
him, and he knew to bring in the new stuff
Oh,
too.
yeah,
So
yeah.
Can we just give James some major kudos? This guy knows how to get it done.
He does.
Okay, he has figured out. He is like the perfect blend of entertainment.
Exactly.
He's music, comedy, drama, the talk show. He's acting. This guy has figured it out. I got to be a package deal.
Yeah.
And he's a good husband and
And
dad.
he's a
Look
good
at that.
husband and family guy. Yeah, it's like, well done, man.
Yeah.
You are just kicking ass.
Hell
And
yeah.
he's good at all of it. That's the crazy thing.
Hell
You
yeah.
hear him singing these carpool karaoke.
Yeah,
and
he's
like,
real good.
Why aren't you doing an album, bro? You
They
should
were
do
like harmonizing.
Yeah.
He was harmonizing with Paul McCartney.
Oh my
Who wouldn't
goodness.
want to see it? Who doesn't want to see a James Corden duet album
I
with
know,
like
right?
a bunch
Like-
of people and he's singing with these people?
That'd be badass.
Yeah, that would be so like badass.
James, come on the show.
Yes, James
Speaking
Corden,
of
come on the show.
music and packaging,
Yes.
Dawn Ostroff.
Ostroff.
Yeah. She's like a superpower woman, one of the big players in media and entertainment. For the longest time, launched CW and was around for the CW.
Yeah,
and,
a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah, and I mean, responsible for all kinds of huge hit shows. One Tree Hill, Gossip Girl,
Mm-hmm.
all kinds of stuff. Anyway, she's been a major player for a really long time, and she just came on as taking over Spotify.
Yep. The
So-
content chief officer or whatever.
Content chief officer. Now, the reason I bring that up in package is like her background is heavily
Exactly,
you
and
know,
like TV, film,
and
like,
film
yeah,
and
video.
are we going to see an emergence of Spotify
Yeah,
as
what-
away from just music and into
Yeah.
movies and television? Are they going to like try to make a move here? Why else bring her in as
Yeah,
the CEO? Why not
I
bring
thought
a
that was
music
weird, too.
CEO?
Because of YouTube.
That's
That's
what
what I'm
I was
saying.
thinking too.
Because
yeah.
of YouTube and Google Music.
Yes.
They're offering, you get 2-package deal. You get premium YouTube, which
Yeah.
has all their original
Yeah.
content, and then no commercials.
Which
their
Spotify's got a
music
huge
side.
base, a lot of subscribers and followers.
Exactly.
So the question becomes now: does Spotify enter the game of original content?
Yeah.
We're gonna start seeing original series from Spotify.
That'd be weird.
I mean, like think about it.
Dude.
Bring
There's
back
so
the Get
many.
Down.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh,
my
my
gosh,
god.
Man, if,
That would be a good
leave
platform
Baz
for
off
that.
though. Apparently
Definitely.
he can't budget,
Yeah.
but bring the show back.
Hell
I mean,
yeah.
it'd be great, man.
Hell yeah.
God, that was so good.
It really was.
Oh, we
That
were
was
talking
the
earlier
guy
about
from sorry
Jurassic World.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay. That
By
I
the
thought
way,
I recognized
the
him.
reason to go see Jurassic
Yeah, he
World,
stole
the new
the
one.
show,
He
I think,
steals
too,
the
yeah.
show. Justice Smith is like his screams. Talk about the word of the day. We'll bring that up in a minute.
Sorry.
But his screams were just like the whole movie. He's like,
like,
he
I don't
wants
wanna
no
be there.
part of being there, and you never forget.
Yeah.
He's like, no.
But he also shows how important IT guys are.
Oh,
yeah.
You can't do
yeah.
it without the IT guys.
Exactly.
So anyway,
Exactly.
That shit's so
I
funny.
just want to say a friend of mine was in that scene actually.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, shit.
the guy leaning on the table when Ron Howard's
Yeah.
daughter walks in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's sitting there at the table leaning. He was one of the
Nice.
guys, head of the room, one
Shout
of the
out.
extras.
And we
Yeah.
had a friend, Kiara, that was in there. The original one.
Yeah.
In the scene where the giant thing comes up out of the water at the park.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's in that.
Oh
so-
shit. And I also just want to say, since January, Spotify 3 key executives have left, so they're in
I
need.
think they're making a move.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're in need, and they're clearly maybe the three that left.
Well, I
wanted
know they
music
win-
and
Yeah.
aren't on board with what the changes.
Yeah.
They've been having a hard time trying to make a profit. I
Yeah.
think that's the
Well,
big thing about Spotify, and they're trying to do this move. Maybe is to find a way
Yeah.
to make more profit.
Right.
Well, and they
try to
just
be more
went public.
profitable.
Yeah.
So they're publicly traded now. So
Yeah.
maybe now the fact that they're public and maybe they expand their content beyond just music.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, start off with some original series that are music based.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
stick with your genre that you know.
Yeah.
But start to expand, and I think I think she's the right person. I
Hell
think
yeah.
it's going to be a smart move for them.
Biopics
So-
coming for days from Spotify.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
that'd
without
be
doubt,
cool.
man. That'd be
That'd be really
awesome,
cool.
man.
So we have something else kind of new for you guys on the podcast.
Woohoo.
We want to tell you guys our top 5 favorite movies, just so you can get to know us a little bit better, what we're into, all that good fun stuff.
We should say this.
Should say it.
Each week it's going to be a top 5, but
Yeah.
it's going to be a different top 5 list.
Yes.
And the idea was floated by Ace,
Yeah.
Jason, who's not here today. But anyway, it's his idea, and we loved it, and we're going to start doing it. And I guess we'll have to find out what his top 5 movies are. Tweet him. Ask
Yeah.
him.
The reason he's not
Ask
here today is his alarm didn't go off. Or
Damn.
He was
didn't
up
hear
late
it.
watching his 5 favorite movies.
Exactly.
Like, I don't know.
That's what it was.
so tell us what 5 things you want to know about us.
Yeah,
like
what
what do you
5
want to know our favorite things are?
Exactly. That's
Thank
awesome.
you. Tweet us, message us on Instagram, find us on Facebook, go to the website, leave us. We want to know your 5 favorite whatever.
Yeah.
And we will tell you. Every week we're going to start doing this.
Exactly. And it could be the fan thing, or like it could be the fans' decision on what 5 movies, 5 films, or
food. I mean, whatever.
Yeah, same thing. But ladies first. Tavia,
Okay.
Are you
Since
ready?
I'm the only lady. I am ready. I got my list right.
Well, I'm going to do
snap.
Emily by default after you.
Yeah. That's
That's right. She did send in hers. Okay.
Yeah.
So these are pretty much in this order. Sometimes they switch around depending on my mood.
Yeah.
But first one is Spirited Away, which I'm wearing my Spirited Away Alice in
Spirited
Wonderland
Away?
mashup.
That's
shirt.
like your
I feel
top
so bad. Like I'm a
favorite
big,
movie.
I'm a big
that's
anime fan.
the
Never
next
seen
thing.
Spirited Away.
Oh,
I'm
man.
so sorry.
That's the next thing.
It has never been on a streaming source I've had.
I
or
got the
have
Blu-ray.
access
I'll let
to.
you borrow
Oh.
it.
There you go.
Actually, I'm sorry.
I would need a
Oh,
DVD.
no. I just wanted to
well, I
clarify.
have that
I don't have a remote to my Blu-ray player, so you
that
can't
too.
get past the play screen.
Oh.
I just can't hit
No,
push
that's
play.
And it's not touchscreen, so
Yeah.
I'm like, damn it, no. That would be so annoying. It's not working. I want to clarify, because are these in random order, or are they as this is my ultimate favorite, and then
This
work
is
down
pretty,
to the
like I
5?
said, it really depends on the mood I'm in. But
Yeah.
today, this is the order.
So, no, like, is
And
this number
top order,
5?
so top to
is best down.
one down, one down to 5,
Number
which
one.
5 is a tie, so it's technically 6, but I'm going to count as 5. And just a
Start
quick,
from the bottom.
quick, sweet little story. I for stupid reasons, lost my copy of Spirited Away and Howl's Moving Castle, which I spent $30 on each of them,
Man.
and they
Wait,
pretty
what
much
was the second
stolen Howl's Moving Castle,
Okay.
another
Both
Hayao
from the
Miyazaki.
same.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
and
Howl is just, that's a beautiful
That is,
and cute
it's really
and
great.
movie.
And Kevin Smith bought me the Blu-ray DVD combos of both of them when he found out when we
Oh,
were first
damn.
starting to date.
Hey, so nice.
Oh.
So anyway, okay. So
Shout
my
out Kevin
second
Smith.
one is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Ooh.
Yeah.
The third is Shaun of the Dead. Shaun. I love
a great movie.
that guy. I
That
can't
guy.
talk today. My fourth one is Pan's Labyrinth,
Mm-hmm.
and my 5th/6th tie, when I'm feeling a little bit of a guilty pleasure movie, is Mulan or Penelope.
Nice. Nice.
Mulan is definitely the best Disney princess, hands down, no competition. She's best.
Hell yeah.
So anyway, those are mine.
Nice.
Nice. Okay, Emily by default.
Yes.
And Emily by default
Look
could only
at him.
come up with 4. Cause she ain't old enough to have 5 yet. I don't know. Like okay.
She's a youngin', we'll give her
She's
that.
a youngin'. All right. So Emily's number 1 is Breakfast Club.
It's a good one. It's a good
yeah,
one.
yeah. Well influenced by Dad.
What?
You might hear that one again.
What you mean, you gaffer?
Yeah, right. Like,
Number 2 is La La Land.
Nice.
Number
That's a
3,
good one.
Breakfast at Tiffany's.
She likes
And-
breakfast, huh?
Huh?
Never-
She likes breakfast.
She
She likes breakfast, yeah. And her final one, Pretty Woman. Pretty Woman.
Nice.
So,
Yeah.
okay, so that's Little Cam.
Lil Cam.
All right, J-Lo, what you got?
All right. I got Home Alone 2. I love that one. I love
Wow.
because
We've
I
heard this before. We've heard the Home Alone 2.
Yeah, I love the second one way more than the first one. I think because I like the house better than the first one. I don't know why, and I'm just a big fan.
Sometimes
of New
the
York.
second one's better, like with Austin Powers. The second
Yeah.
one's better than the other ones.
Exactly.
Anyway, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Number 2, The Dark Knight. I just Heath Ledger, man. I just
It's a good one.
Number 3, Orange County with Tom Hanks' son and Jack Black. I don't know if you guys have seen that one.
I
That
have
one's
not.
pretty good.
Oh wait, yes, I have. Yes,
It's a
I have.
good one. Four Brothers is next with Mark Wahlberg, Tyrese, a whole bunch of people. Andre 3000. That's
Yeah.
a great one. And Wolf of Wall Street, because,
Wolf of Wall Street.
yeah, I
Oh,
love
we have
Wolf
a
of Wall
similar one.
Street.
We have
Yeah.
a similar one. Okay. All right. So good choices.
Thank you.
Interesting.
Thank you.
Interesting. Wow, that's like 10 or with Emily 14 really unique films.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay, well one of mine mimics my kid, but she's my kid, so
Yeah,
it had
I
to
mean,
happen. So but
offspring.
number 1 for me, Superman the movie, the original. Christopher Reeve, Margot Kidder, Gene Hackman.
No,
Ned
but how
Beatty,
many times you referenced it?
my-
No
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
Superman the movie, my ultimate.
He's got a
favorite.
tattoo of Superman on his
The death of
yeah.
Superman, but we don't go there, do we?
Oh, good.
Mr. I was about to call him out.
It's a hot topic.
Yeah. You know what you did.
Oh,
and
goodness.
you know who you are. Okay. All right. So,
Number 2.
thanks, man.
I'm
Thanks.
sorry. I'm
Bringing
sorry.
that back
I know.
up, bro.
My
It's
bad.
like bad blood right
My
there.
bad.
All right. Superman the movie. Number 2, Breakfast Club.
Breakfast
I am
Club.
a huge fan of the Breakfast
It's a
Club.
great movie.
Well, definitely, great movie
Hell yeah.
all time. Number 3, and I think this one might shock some people, but I'm saying it anyway because it is true. Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl.
Really?
Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl is a phenomenal film. Just every which way around it. It is a brilliant job. It's brilliantly written. It's brilliantly directed. The acting is phenomenal. John Bernthal's in it. It's shot, cinematography. I loved it from a filmmaker standpoint. And it's entertaining, but as a fan, but as a filmmaker, it's just a brilliant film from top. If you haven't seen it, watch it. It's a great film. So that's number 3. Number 4, Wall Street. Gecko. I'm sorry, but for me, it will always be at the top of my list. It's always in my top 5. Wall Street.
Better word.
I mean,
lack of a better word.
Yeah, greed. I know that. So don't get me started. I'll do that whole speech. You'll know all about Teldar paper.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I love Wall Street. And then let's see, my 5th one.
It's hard, man.
It is. It's really hard. Number 5.
Even a guilty pleasure. What's your favorite guilty pleasure movie?
Yeah.
Man, a favorite guilty pleasure.
I know it's gonna be Clueless. I just know it.
No, not Clueless.
I'm trying to think of
The Ugly Truth.
No, I'm
White
trying to-
Chicks?
No.
White Chicks.
Oh, you know what it is? I'm going to tell you what it is. I know what it is, and it's not a guilty pleasure. It just popped into my head, and I never go past it if I see it on. I always watch it. I always say Dead Poet Society.
Wow.
I thought maybe you were gonna say
Captain,
Forrest
my
Gump,
captain.
which is
No.
actually probably in mine too. I just
Yeah.
kind of forgot about
Forrest
it until
Gump
just
is in
then.
mine because Jenny reminds me of somebody, and it's a whole kind of thing. But yeah, Dead.
Oh,
You don't wanna go
okay.
there either, man. No,
Bringing up old shit.
Jenny.
Your feelings are just gonna hurt all
I
over the
know.
place in this one.
Ladies
aren't
and
they?
He just brought me all my range of emotions. Like, pissed off, you love it.
My bad, bro.
That's okay. Yeah, Dead Poet Society. Okay, so that's
Nice.
my 5.
Nice.
That's my 5. What you got, Sal, man?
What you got, bro?
He's like, I'm unprepared.
I'm 100%.
I bet you if we asked him his 5 favorite songs, he'd be ready to
No.
go.
He's like,
No.
not
Give
even
it a
close.
shot, babe.
I have
Come on.
18,000 songs on my
Come
phone,
on.
and
Are
I
you gonna
listen
do
to
a
all of
pass?
them.
You want them
No,
to
no,
tweet
no, no,
you?
no.
Oh, no,
I got.
look,
I
he's
got
gonna
5.
try
I
something.
got.
All right.
I got less than 10.
5, bro.
Okay.
5. I
Well,
did 6, but you only do
these-
5.
Yeah. These are going to be a little bit ties on a couple of them, but favorite horror would be The Evil Dead's.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
From a sound standpoint, I love Sam Raimi's dropping out the soundtrack and
Oh, yeah.
making it
Yeah.
dead quiet, and then having jump, and then all the slapstick in the second movie, and Bruce Campbell.
Hell yeah.
I mean,
Bruce Campbell.
Bruce.
Met Bruce Campbell. At
What?
Walker
Oh
Star
shit.
Just
He's just now you're pissing me
Yeah.
off. Everyone's pissed off the person.
Going down the line.
Shout out to Dave Solo. Yeah,
Going down the line.
Yeah, Bruce Campbell was amazing.
Oh,
I'm
shit.
seriously going to try and get it to where me and Kevin can be Bruce and Kelly for Halloween
Oh my
Oh,
God,
from the
shit.
show.
Yeah.
that would be
I'm
great.
so ready to be Kelly for Halloween. Anyway,
So another great sound picture would be Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, that's a great
I love the
movie.
sound spec,
Brilliant
and
movie.
then
God.
just a great movie
Yes.
overall. How it begins and how it ends, it's like, wow, I didn't realize that would be you
Yeah.
wouldn't think he
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, no.
Telling
dude.
spoilers.
story.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, God.
Man, there's just God. This
There's
is a
just so
bad
many-
subject,
yeah.
Because every time you say one, it pops one into my head.
Exactly,
and
you're
it's
like,
oh,
ah.
And
man,
it's
yeah,
difficult.
Then you mentioned anime. Now, I have only gotten to completely watch this movie one time.
Oh, shit.
It is the saddest movie in my opinion.
No damn.
It's beautiful. It's a great piece of art. Grave of the Firefly.
I have not seen that one. Is that a Studio Ghibli one?
I don't think so. I'm not
Oh.
really too sure.
Did it make you
'cause-
cry?
Oh, I had to stop watching it 3
Yeah.
different
Oh,
times
man.
because the emotional toll. it
Damn.
takes. It's about 2 kids whose father was in the Air Force, so he was a kamikaze pilot.
Yeah.
This is all based in Japan.
Yeah.
The mom was burnt by the bomb at Nagasaki.
Oh,
Damn.
wow.
So they went to
Shit.
live with the aunt, and the aunt wants nothing to do with these two.
Damn.
And so they live out on their own. It's just a little sister and little
That's
sister.
deep, man.
Yeah,
It's like,
like-
no wonder you had to stop watching it. Like, damn.
3 different
Oh, the death
times,
of the
like,
mom and
shit.
dad.
Yeah,
Oh
I
man,
mean,
for
oh
me
my
being an
gosh.
orphan, that's
Yeah.
just so much worse.
Yeah.
That's
rough.
And then how it ends, it's a beautiful
But that's a
storytelling.
good
Yeah,
like
no, that's-
representation of a things that I'm sure a lot of Japanese people went
Oh,
through.
yeah.
I was learning
Yeah,
about that in some of my
definitely.
class. A lot of
No
graphic
doubt.
novels and comic books have been written about the people living
Right. Yeah.
with the bombings and then the aftermath and the generation that came
Right.
after that, what they
Right.
had to grow up with. So,
So-
And then about the generation generation after that would be probably about number 4 would be Doctor Strangelove.
Oh yeah,
That's
Dr.
Or how he
Strangelove,
learned to
yeah.
live with the bomb.
Yeah.
And it's just a beautiful movie that Kubrick did, and actually making a great point. So like, there is no fighting in here. This is the war room.
Right.
It's one of the great lines, and it just makes it's so funny, but yet actually talking about how close we were on utter destruction back then. Number 5.
The fifth one's always the hardest one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one was the hardest for me too. That's why it was a tie.
Yeah. It's rough, man.
There's so many good ones.
I know.
There's
There's so many good
There's so
ones.
many good ones.
Guilty pleasure?
Empire.
Empire.
Empire Strikes
such a
Back.
classic.
Empire
No.
Strikes Back.
I
Yeah.
mean,
I'm a
yeah.
huge Star Wars
Yeah.
nerd. That has
I
to be in
mean,
the top 5.
But come
no
on,
matter
I mean, you
what.
got to put Star Wars in there. I mean, I wanted to say Godfather.
I know.
I
So
mean,
many.
how do you not include Godfather? We should have done like top 25 or something.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, look,
Did your
how
camera
about
show?
this?
It did.
Oh.
How about this for a side thing? The top 5, what IMDb puts up, is Shawshank Redemption, Godfather, Godfather Part 2, The Dark Knight, and then 12 Angry Men.
That's into 12. Oh my God! See,
Yeah, there
12
you go.
Angry Men is brilliant. That's one of my. In fact, 12 Angry Men influences my director style a lot. I find that movie just brilliantly shot.
Oh, I thought Mr. Smith Goes to Washington has your...
No. I mean, I like Mr. Smith Goes to, but from a director standpoint, there's a
Yeah.
very particular way that 12 Angry Men is shot, and it's brilliant, and it highly influenced me. But yeah, if you want to throw a couple more out there, I hesitant to say this one, but let's just look at it as a film and not a person. But I mean, come on, one of the best films, in my opinion, of all time, Usual Suspects, man.
Oh, yeah.
Who is Kaiser Soze? I mean, that is a brilliant film.
But
you know, I mean,
just let's take it from this. It was extremely hard to direct all, was it 5 or 6 of them
Yeah,
in the room?
yeah.
All 6 of them, they quit taking direction.
Right.
What was actually taped is several different cuts
Yeah.
of mess ups
Yeah,
and goofs that were going on. And like, why was saying the line when Benicio del Toro stops and pauses and slaps the guy next to him? I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time remembering. He was farting.
yeah.
Oh,
The
shit.
dude next to him was just cutting farts, and he slapped him. It was like,
Yeah,
son of- it was
it's
a- Yeah, like
it
son of
was
a
one of the
bitch.
Baldwin brothers, wasn't it? He was
It
cutting farts.
It's
Yeah.
one of the most brilliant films, and the stories behind it are all brilliant. And then you can throw in A Few Good Men. I mean,
Yeah.
come on. Oh, my God. Seven.
Oh, man.
Seven. I mean, there's too many, but there you go.
Way
you kind
too
of get the
many.
gist
That's
of our
the problem.
favorite,
Yeah.
of our favorites.
Thank God it wasn't like, what's your top 5 favorite bands or artists? Because then
just
I'll be
wait
there
on
for
it,
like
bro.
I am
18
curious.
hours.
coming up.
I am curious now that you brought it up, though. First movie or only movie that made you cry?
I'm a girl. That's like, are you
not
kidding me?
even-
That
yeah.
was probably like some movie I watched when I was like 3. I mean, how am I supposed to know that?
So I'm guessing
So
Fern
Tavia
Gully.
said it'd be
It
easier
was
to tell you
Fern
what
Gully,
movies
or it's-
don't make me
Yeah.
cry.
I do remember, of course, The Lion King. That
No,
one
no,
was
no.
always
It was Bambi. It must have been Bambi.
Yeah.
That one, I think
Well-
was maybe my first one that made me cry.
Yeah, that one probably was too. I don't really remember my memories of that one so much because I didn't have a copy of that one. I remember watching it at my grandfather's house, and
Yeah.
he always we could either watch Bambi or The Little Mermaid,
Yeah.
and I always rooted for The Little Mermaid because it wouldn't make me cry. So I didn't watch that one as much,
Yeah.
but probably one of the earliest ones is one of the Disney movies,
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
The Lion King.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right, J-Lo.
Dude, I don't even know. Like,
Come on, you know you cried at one. though.
yeah, I mean, of course. I literally have to look it up. Come back to me.
All right,
thinking
me,
about
I can
it.
tell you mine right off.
You're gonna Google it.
It's
What made
The
me
Champ.
cry?
Yeah.
Yeah, The Champ with Ricky Schroeder.
Yeah.
It's the
I haven't
scene,
seen that one, Gaffer.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's with little Ricky Schroeder. But it was like
Even more so.
I was
Like, just saying.
All right. It's all right. Anyway, it was a good film anyway. But it's his dad is a prize fighter, and he basically is a washed up one, and he's trying to make a comeback and everything. And he has this fight, and he wins, but he dies. And Ricky Schroeder's the son, and the champ is like he's laid out on the table in the dressing room or whatever, and he basically dies. And Ricky Schroeder is just literally just watershed and pounding on his chest.
Yeah.
Come on, champ, wake up, champ. You won, champ. And it was right at like less than a year after my dad had died.
Oh, man.
So I'm watching it, and we're about the same age. You know, Ricky's maybe a year or so younger than me, but in the film or whatever. But it was just, I lost it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit, man, wake up, champ. It was like, and I still to this day, if that movie is on, I switch it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not getting to that scene. Just move
Right.
on. You know,
Yeah.
it's rough, bro. It's
It
rough
is.
for me. But
Yeah, so I have a copy of Grave of the Firefly. I have not
Yeah.
picked up
Yeah.
that copy
Okay,
in a
there you go.
long time.
I think I cried at the end of Home Alone 2. I mean, I don't know why I didn't say that in the first
That
place.
movie means a lot
Actually,
to you.
I love that movie, bro.
Here,
Like,
here.
that
I'll
and
give
Homeward
you,
Bound.
I'll give you honest.
Oh man.
I picked up both of them and was watching them
Yeah.
for Christmas. It's Christmas time.
I love 'em.
Everybody
Every
else
year.
had already passed out, and I'm still watching Home Alone 2. And then it comes to the point of, I just want my mom.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude,
Exactly.
that was a stab immediately. Like, I got up, I went to the bedroom, I
crying
shut
right
the
now.
door, and I cried to myself.
Yeah.
You know.
Animal, Homeward Bound was one for me too. Animal
Yeah.
Ones
Really?
always got me.
Yeah, I love Homeward
And I think I cried during the movie too when I watched it. I remember I was in 6th grade. I'm pretty sure I cried during the movie
Yeah.
too. But especially the book
Yeah.
where the red fern grows.
Yes.
That one, I
Oh,
remember
my
being
goodness.
at recess and getting to the very last part. That's what I was doing
Yeah.
instead of playing. Was reading the book because I was
Yeah.
so engrossed in it and just bursting out into tears. And of course, my teachers were like, "Well,
Hey,
what's
what's
wrong?"
wrong?
And I just held up the book, and they were like, "Oh,
Oh.
okay." And they were like,
Okay,
"It's
if
all
we're
right."
going to do that, then, Dustin, you're going to tear into this Old Yeller.
Oh, yeah.
Old Yeller,
Old
yeah.
Yeller.
Although
You're just
I
a
didn't
kid.
cry at Old Yeller.
Uh-huh.
I didn't.
I
Look, because
little
that's what
bit.
I was going to say. I'm hardcore, and my family hates me because we'll be going to all these emotional things, and I just will
You will
not
not
cry.
cry.
I'm relentless for not crying. Didn't you think it was sad? Yeah. Well, you didn't cry. No. But so
He's Chandler Bing.
Yeah,
he
no.
is Chandler Bing.
The champ gets me every time. I will say that, oddly enough, Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl got me.
There.
It was just a little one, but it got me.
You did.
And then there's two other things that made me tear up, and I'm not even going to be ashamed to admit it. One was the series finale of Parenthood.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, I bawled like a baby on that
Parenthood,
one. And every fucking episode
Every
of This Is
episode,
Us.
yeah.
Every episode, I am a
Literally.
balled up baby in the corner.
Still haven't even finished that one. We're trying to get through Scrubs, which is usually funny, but can get me sometimes
can.
too.
Yeah,
I just
same.
watched the
Scrubs
episode
can,
when
yeah.
Laverne dies, and I was like,
Oh, yeah.
especially when the choir. Anytime
Oh,
the
yes.
choir
Oh, yeah.
starts
Yes.
singing "Amazing Grace," I'm just gonna
Oh,
cry.
yeah.
It doesn't even have to be at a funeral,
I
just
know.
because.
If you have not
Also, watch out for
started-
Hallelujah when it's Jeff Buckley's Hallelujah.
Oh,
when that
shit,
song
yeah.
kicks in, you're like,
yeah.
oh no.
If you have not watched This Is Us yet, though,
Oh my goodness.
I'm
are
saving it
going
for
to
after
be-
Scrubs.
You are going to be an emotional wreck
Oh,
from the
man.
first episode on. If you don't cry
Yeah.
every episode, something's wrong.
Yeah, basically.
Like seriously, like this show
their
is
goal.
absolutely brilliant.
It
It's
is.
probably out of movies, television, original series, streaming, whatever. It's probably at this particular point the single best production of anything going
Definitely.
on right now.
Definitely.
From the writing to the directing to the cast, the acting, the way it's lit, production design, just everything. It's absolutely phenomenal, and you are guaranteed to cry.
Hell yeah.
It will tear you up.
Yeah.
It will tear you up.
It is crazy.
This show brought to you by This Is Us.
Yeah, we wish. But I guess now it's time for our word of the day.
La palabra del día.
Yeah, what she said. You got it. You got it. Yes.
That's
There
the
it is.
word.
There it is.
The word.
Yeah. I've been playing the track for like a few seconds by accident.
No,
But,
you're
Whoops.
it's Wilhelm,
Wilhelm.
but it's actually the Wilhelm
Wilhelm.
scream,
Yes.
which is a stock sound effect of a man screaming and has been used in
So
382
many
movies as of April this year. And
They
countless
still use it.
television
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Oh
the
yeah.
Still use it. When was it recorded? Does it say?
It was started at 1951.
Damn.
With the film Distant Drums.
Oh.
It's
That's
usually
crazy.
often used when someone's shot or falls from a great
Yeah.
height, an explosion.
Oh yeah. Falling. It's
Yeah.
constantly used.
Like in every
Yeah.
Star Wars, it's when one of the soldiers just
Yeah.
just fall.
Oh, yeah.
They even put it in the Star Wars games. I remember
Yeah.
that.
They
that
did.
shit was hilarious.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fantastic.
It
It's that
really
sound,
is.
and it's like a big tag through the sound of movies.
Yeah.
It's always like the sound engineer goes,
Yeah.
I gotta find a place to put it.
Nice.
There has to be a place that
Has
it
to go
goes
somewhere.
in.
Oh my goodness.
And like the more comedy, the more that sound will be used.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Without
great
definitely.
comedy movie with Blazing Saddles,
Hell
which
yeah.
would be one of my favorite movies, and
happen to use it.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, good word. Good word of the day.
Definitely. All right, now it's time to talk about some box office predictions.
Look into his crystal ball.
Yes, yes.
Crystal balls? What?
Expectations and the numbers. This week, Cicero, is that what that is? Cicero?
I still don't know. Sicaro,
yeah.
Sounds right.
That is coming out this week.
Cicero.
Yeah, this is the
Sicaro
second
2.
one. Did not know that.
Yes.
The first one's on Netflix.
The first one didn't get advertised as much.
Yeah,
It didn't. But which is weird because it had a pretty decent cast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently it was pretty good.
Exactly. And also coming out this week, Uncle Drew with like basically every famous.
I have to talk about this one. I don't know how well
player.
it's going to do, but Blackwater,
Mhm.
Jean-Claude Van Damme, and
shit.
Dolph Lundgren back in a movie since
goodness.
what was the Soldier movie?
Jean-Claude Van
Universal
Damme.
Soldier.
Universal Soldier.
Yeah,
They're back,
yeah.
but they're on the same team this time and not fighting each other.
That shit's hilarious.
Wow. Wow. That's on 4 screens this week.
Yeah,
just.
if you wanna go
And
see
3 of
that
them are at
somewhere.
somebody's house.
Yeah.
Everybody in the crowd is going to be wearing camo.
Oh, it's a 4.6 out of
Definitely.
10. That's going to be on more screens.
But movies that are also out this week that you should go see: Ocean's 8, that's still out. Tag is still out. Incredibles 2 and Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. So this week, I don't think any of the new ones are gonna take the top of the box office. I think Jurassic World's gonna stay at number 1 with around 50 to 60 million. Number 2, I think it's gonna stay with Incredibles 2, around like 25 to 30 million. Number 3, I think, will be Uncle Drew because everybody looks excited for it just to see. It looks funny.
Yeah.
It looks pretty funny. And number 4, that one that we can't say, Sicaro. That
Cicero.
one with Cicero with 12 to 13 million.
I mean, it has a pretty good meta score of like 61 and it's a 7.8.
Really?
It has a really
Oh,
big
shit.
score. And so does Uncle Drew's a 55 meta score.
Yeah. We shall see. We shall
it's got
see.
2 Marvel guys in it.
Yeah.
Thanos in the Collector.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's
Just
true.
saying.
Uncle Drew does have Shaquille O'Neal, so I don't
Shaquille
know if that
O'Neal,
means
Reggie
anything.
Miller,
Yeah.
freaking like Kyrie Irving, like Nate Robinson, everybody. It's really crazy. Where was I at? I would think I was at number 5. Number 5, I think, will be Ocean's 8 with around like 7 million, and Tag 5 million. That'll be like number 6. Yeah. Word. Yeah, I think it'll go back to Jurassic World. That was a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy it?
I did. I thought it was more suspenseful than the last one. Like, I don't want to spoil for anybody,
No
but there's an
spoilers.
underwater scene that had me like, like gripping my seat. Like, come on.
Like, oh, shit.
This is taking too long.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I thought it was good. I thought it was really suspenseful.
Hell yeah.
It's entertaining.
Yeah.
I think, like we said on Is It Worth It, our movie review show that will be out later today on the YouTube channel.
Yes.
If you like the other Jurassic World movies, going way back to the original, you're going to like this one. I mean,
definitely.
It follows a very
And it's
along
very
the lines.
relevant to things that we deal with to this day with environment and protecting animals and things like that and ethical issues when it comes to animals and what we're doing to our planet.
Well, I
and
think
things
that's
like
an
that.
agreement to bring in
And some shady people.
And some shady people.
to bring in what's his name. You have to do that message.
Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum
Yeah.
assists on that message.
Yeah. And it's,
In that movie. I mean,
it
when he
took-
did the
that one made me tear up a little bit too.
Yeah.
Speaking of movies that made you cry, that one got me for a minute.
Oh, snap.
What was it? Was it the third one he came back in Jurassic movies? Was
I
it
don't
the
know.
third Jurassic movie he
Maybe.
came back?
Yeah, maybe.
Where he was like, he came back and he was a scientist there trying to.
By the way, I loved how
Trying to
you
help.
proved your point about not crying at movies when I was like, that one made me tear up. You're just like, like totally like blank face,
You're
like,
yeah, it did.
robot.
Chandler Bing has no emotion.
Not me.
Because you don't cry about animals. No, I'm just kidding.
You have no soul.
And I always cry about animals.
Let
That's how
the
you can get me
animals
to cry.
die.
Is if
I
you
think-
bring
I
in
think-
something about animals.
I think what it is he has the same thing I do. If it's a fictional character, it's hard to
I can
cry
get attached
over
to
the death
anything.
of a fictional
I can
character.
get
I have the
attached.
same thing.
Pencil.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
I
like
really
you have
that pencil.
no. It's like no. We have to be stoic.
Well, watch the movie and tell me what
male,
you think.
Yeah.
That masculine male mentality going in there.
I'm
Like
s-
we can't cry
I
unless
don't-
we're by ourselves and
I
no
mean,
one can see.
honestly, I don't think it's that. I mean, if I'm gonna be real about it, and I hate to be this way, because man, it sounds pathetic, but I've just had so much real shit in my life that I've had to cry over that. That if it ain't real, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm just not buying it. I'm
Yeah.
like, nah.
That
And
shit
I
was
gotta-
kind of
understand that.
sad, though. You know what scene I'm talking about, right?
I know.
And that was sad.
It was sad. It was sad.
Anyway, but it was good.
It did not elicit a cry, though.
No.
It did not.
Did you
I
cry
mean, I didn't
over
like
Carl?
bawl, but I did the single tier like you were talking about, the Mission Impossible tier.
Yeah.
Mission Impossible to Oh my goodness. But yeah, so anyway, Jurassic World #1, Incredibles 2, #2, #3, Uncle Drew, #4, the one we can't pronounce, #5, Ocean's 8.
There you go.
Yes. So thank you guys for listening to our show tonight. We appreciate all of you.
Yes.
Make sure to go follow us at all of our social media handles.
Yes.
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.
Yes.
Facebook, The Crazy Ant Film Company,
Yes.
and at Rain Gatherers.
Uh-huh.
On Twitter,
Uh-huh.
and Crazy Ant Films, and at
did it with
Rain
accent again.
Gatherers.
Yes.
And on
Yeah.
Instagram, crazy_ant_films. And
What
at
happens when a Brit and a Valley girl get together?
You
We're
never
about to
know.
find out. I
You
mean, I don't
never know.
Like,
You really don't.
Do the
And then a German shows
yeah,
up.
they'll
broad
just-
to the yas.
uh,
Anyway.
And then I think we left off on Instagram with the Rain Gatherers, at the Rain Gatherers, and on
Yes.
YouTube, Crazy Ant Films. If you just want to go to our website, everything's on
It's
there.
all there.
CrazyAntFilms.com. Hell yeah, go visit it. We
Gal
appreciate
Gadot.
it. Yes,
Gal Gadot.
we need to get her on
Our
the
listeners
show.
have spoken.
Yes,
They want to hear from you. They want you on Inside the Crazy
We
That's
Ant.
love
right.
you, and they love you too.
exactly. And we have one more thing. Stay crazy, my friends.
Oprah!
Oprah.